Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Premodern Showdown Series 3 Semifinals. I'm Michael Hoyp. I'm joined today by Flint Espel. Say hi, Flint.
Hi, everybody.
Hope everybody enjoyed a week off of the Showdown series. Hope you enjoyed Thanksgiving, and that's something you celebrate. How was your Thanksgiving, Flint?
It was delightful. And yours?
It was just my literal immediate family, like my wife and kids. So it was quiet and simple, and it was actually quite pleasant. But yep. But I'm ready. I'm ready for the Showdown series, and I'm pretty excited for the semifinals and the finals this week to finally reach a conclusion of what we've been working for the last 7, 8 weeks of pre-modern. So we have first up, we have the number one seed in James Smits up against Tom Metelsky, and then we will have John Grudzina up against Jared Doucette. So one thing that we're doing a little bit differently for the semifinals is we are doing a best of five match as compared to we did a best of three in the round robin stages. So we're still going to have the element where the players ban a deck up for the opponent and they're not able to bring those. But the big difference is that it is a best of five, and then also the higher seed gets to choose to play or draw. When in the round robin, it was just determined randomly. So we'll see if maybe some of those things will change the decks that players pick, or maybe just how sideboarding affects things. But let's jump down to the ban screen for this first match and talk about what decks are available for these players. So James has the Blue-Black Stifle Knot, his 5-color Sligh deck, and the Star Spangled Slaughter deck. Tom has elected to ban the Blue-Black Stifle Knot, while Tom has brought Goblins, Psychotog, and the Devourer Combo deck. And James has banned Psychotog. So I looked back in my notes, and James played Tom in week 3, and they had the same exact bans. Tom had banned the Stifle Nut deck, and James had banned the Tog deck. So, all right, Flint, do you want to make a prediction what they're gonna play?
So last time James went with 5-color Sly
Yes,
and Tom went with Devourer, and I believe James beat him, right?
yes. James did beat Tom 2 games to 1 with
Right,
the Sly versus the Devourer combo.
Devourer. I think, and this might have been a match where I predicted Tom was going to pick Goblins. I think Tom should play Goblins. I think James is going to play Sly, and I'm thinking that Tom might switch gears and go with Goblins.
Okay, so yeah, given that the bands are the same, you think that since Tom had lost, that he might be switching strategies. All right, let's go check out the deck lists for the players. And first up for James, he is bringing the 5-color Sly. So we've talked about this deck throughout the series, but it's kind of one of the decks that James has pretty much. I don't know if he solely did it, but I know he had said that he had built it to be better against combos since his brother plays a lot of combo decks and wanted Sly to have a better matchup. And so the Enlightened Tutor package allows a lot of one of Silver Bullets to kind of shore up things that Sly wouldn't normally be good at, and that is kind of the big difference. And the sideboard of this Sly deck is it. I compare it to like a dump truck deck of the old days, where you're just bringing all these specific cards for sideboard matchups, and you really get a different texture of the games in the sideboarded games. Do you want to add anything about this Sly deck?
No, I don't think so. Let's take a look and see what Tom decided to bring.
All right, so Flint predicted goblins from Tom, and Tom has elected to bring. Again, he's going with a Devourer combo.
Is he? Oh man, I know he thinks it's a bad matchup against Sly, and maybe it is. I don't play a lot of Goblins, but I don't know. James's Sly deck is just so slow. I feel like Goblins actually has a shot.
Yeah.
But here we go.
So this is an A plus B combo deck where it's trying to get Phyrexian Devourer in play. It can do that either by casting it for 6 mana. It does have Soul Lands and Ancient Tomb and City of Traders, or it can cast Tinker to get it. And then the other part of the combo is either Altar of Dementia or Fling. So either mill your opponent out or deal 20 plus damage to your opponent with the Phyrexian Devourer. So I'll briefly talk about the key cards. We have seen this matchup before, but for those who maybe didn't see it, so there is an engineered plague in the main deck of James, and there are 4 enlightened tutors to go get it. And in the pre-cyborg games, which there will be 2 because we are playing a best of 5, if engineered plague comes down for James,
It's game over.
I think it's literally impossible for Tom to win. Uh, the Devourer cannot get into play, and I don't think Tom has an out. So that's kind of what I think. The first 2 games it's going to come around is Engineer Plague is just the most important card, and there's 4 Enlightened Tutors to get it. And then in the sideboarded games, Enlightened Tutor is still like a big roller player because cards like Seal Cleansing, which there is 1 in the main and then more in the sideboard, and cards like Disenchant, I guess is not able to get fetched with Enlightened Tutor, but that is another card that can be get that it is really important in this matchup. So looking from Tom's perspective, so in these first 2 games, I think he just needs to race. Like that is his best chance of winning. Tinker is just the quickest way that he can win. He can win potentially on turn 2 if he goes Soul Land, Altar of Dementia, Jeweled Amulet, and then turn 2 he tinkers away the amulet and gets the Devourer. So potentially can just win before that Engineer play comes down, but it's going to be tough. And then in the sideboard, the Rushing River is his only way to circumvent a resolved Engineered Plague. So I think the sideboard games are just that's what it's going to hinge on. So I think Tom's got his work cut out for him, and we'll see how this goes. All right, we'll jump down to the match. Flint, if you want to let our players know that they can get started, I am going to start a poll, start a prediction poll. Let's see. Let's get this going. Who will win match 1?
All right, James on the play here. Both players kept their 7. Ooh, a Bloodstained Mire. And a Mox Diamond. All right, see you later, City of Brass. We're going to upgrade with this artifact. And James is going to sack it, so he's looking for a turn 1 play here.
Okay, so we do have the prediction poll up. You have a couple of minutes to predict the winner of this match. All right, so
on turn 1 for 2 mana.
One thing about the Mox Diamond is not only does it fix the colors for James in his 5-color Sligh deck, but just accelerating out in an Engineered Plague. I guess you would need to have. I guess if he had Enlightened Tutor here, then he could just have a turn 2 Engineered Plague. So,
he's leaving up the Mox Diamond.
Yeah, it's.
So we'll see.
I mean, it's not like Tom can really do anything about it from this point. So it's not like he can play around it, but.
Mind Stone. All right. Ooh, and a Chromatic Sphere. All right. We do see the Mox Diamond being tapped. There's the tutor. All right. Game 2.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any reason for Tom to continue, but we'll let him see. Like I said, when I looked at the deck list, I don't think there's anything he can do. So
I'm gonna take a look at it as well over here.
and that is kind of one of the weaknesses to the Devourer combo, and most of the time a card like Engineered Plague is not in the main deck, so it's usually something that you have to fear in the sideboard games. But I feel like the times that I've played the Devourer deck, it's just all about these sideboard hate cards, and you just have to be prepared. Looks like James is just bringing up the Phyrexian Devourer just to make sure he's going to get the creature type correct. I think he could name Phyrexian or Construct, I believe, are the other creature types. Though I know the version that I'm going to be bringing up will only just say, I think, artifact creature or something. Yeah, because I bring up the old version of the card, not the Oracle text. But
if only you could name artifact creature. Yeah, Tom's going to scoop him up. All right, we're going to game 2.
All right, so nice and quick. But kind of what we expected. I mean, like I mean, and James really can just mulligan for an enlightened tutor as long as he has the way to cast it. I mean, like the disadvantage it might be like he might get be a little bit worse against a card like Tanglewire if he has like less permanence to put to the board. If he's really committing a lot of cards to mulligan to an enlightened tutor and a way to cast the engineered plague right away. But
Yep.
I think it's worth it. I mean, at least in the second game before the cyborg comes in, that you can just really put all your resources into finding that. And I think I would I would not be surprised if James is not up 2 games very quickly.
So Tom's got a mulligan pretty aggressively here as well, right? I mean, he's on the play. The deck can win on turn two. It's rare, right? But he's got some flexibility here too with his mulligans, right?
Hmm. Yeah, his deck it doesn't mulligan nearly as well, especially because
No.
in the sense that James just basically needs mana and enlightened tutor, so that's a lot easier. While Tom needs like mana and different pieces of the combo. So it's a lot more things that Tom needs to find. I don't know if they're waiting. You might want to just
I am right now.
okay, uh,
Yep.
give them a message that they are free to start. Mike says, "Ask Mike Harris how rare the turn two kills are." I believe I've had a. I don't know if it was one of the matches I recorded, but I'm pretty sure I've had a turn two kill with this deck.
All right. Delaware Stone here from Tom.
Okay. I didn't reset the life totals, but looks like Tom's already at 18 again. So
He's been 2 minute up.
Tom tapping his fingers. I think he is maybe a little bit nervous about just the second game happening exactly the same way as the first. And so far, we could, if there's a Mox Diamond, then all right. So there's no Mox Diamond right there. So no
we
turn
do
two Engineered Plague.
we do see a
Well,
love
I
mesh
guess
though.
I should not say that because this next turn just could go Mox Diamond land and Engineered Plague. He
Plague.
could just have it naturally. So maybe I'm speaking
Yeah.
too soon.
Grim Lavamancer, the natural harbinger of engineered plague. All right, Jared. Chad says ready to get to game three. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Tom's on the play here. I mean, if he can steal a game here, it's just so huge.
It looks like he's
All right,
spending his mana for Mind Stone. Like if this is a Tangle Wire, then I
Tanglewire
kind of
would be
like
good.
that. But you also maybe could wait a turn on the Tangle Wire, thinking that like if James didn't have like the Mox Diamond right away, it looks like he's going
He's
for it
not
now.
messing
Okay,
around.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, I think that is uh,
it's the safer
a
play.
reasonable play. That like I think there's a little bit of risk reward in maybe like waiting it in a turn and trying to get a little bit more value out of your uh, Tangle Wire, but I think this is perfectly reasonable to do. All right, so Lightning Bolt and Upkeep is going
Upkeep.
to deal some damage to Tom, but then I think that's well, I guess that doesn't necessarily mean that James isn't going to do anything because he could develop the board a little bit more. But his slide list has less threats in the form of like it's Jackal Pup, Grim Lavamancer, and like Ball Lightning, I believe, or there might be Mog Fanatics as well. Um, I guess it's not that many. I think maybe that's all the same threats that a normal slide list would have.
So James is gonna go to 19 here and play the old fanatic.
All right, Tom gonna remove a counter and then tap down the Tangle Wire. Now he's got to think about the other two that he will tap.
Yeah.
Mind Stone is his first one, then Shivan Reef. I guess the Felwar Stone gives him any color, so
Hmm.
he still has access to 2 colorless mana and then one of any. Well, what? Wait. Belwer Stone is any land, right? It's not just basic land.
Maybe double check it. I don't play old school. I know it's a bigger card
I mean,
there.
it wouldn't do that much if it were only basic land. Yeah, this mana type, any type of the land of your opponent control can produce. So I don't understand the reasoning of tapping Felwar Stone or keeping Shivan Reef up.
Oh wow, yeah, he's gonna take one from the reef. Is he tinkering here? Yeah.
Okay.
So the plan is to get Devourer, right, and then protect it with its own ability,
Is that
and
what
then
he's
win
going
during his
for?
upkeep with a fling, maybe.
Okay. Oh, he's getting an
No,
altar. I guess
interesting.
that to me that would signals that he has another Tinker.
Yeah,
Otherwise, like I could see like maybe that you feel like you have to risk it, though. It is a little. I'm trying to think. So it depends on. I mean, James might be able to deal a good chunk of damage to the Devourer in the upkeep because he would have. I guess he would have one from the Mog Fanatic and two from the Grim Lavamancer. So there'd just be the worry that the Devourer would get too big, but
so an important line, from James here too, is if he can get Tom's life total low enough to where he can't tap a lot of his pain lands, but I don't think he has the time to do it. Unfortunately, I think Tom can win right here.
okay. So is there a Tinker here? And I guess also like just another Soul Land would be able to summon the Devourer with one, two, three, four, five from the lands and then the Felwar Stone. Tom taps his Ancient Tomb. He's falling to 8, though. Like, if I mean, it's not like if he's winning this turn, then he's not in fear of any combination of cards out of James. I think the most that James can do is 4 damage here with a Bolt and a Mog Fanatic Sacrifice. But we just see a Chromatic Sphere, so here it's sacrificing. Are we digging? Making blue mana? Is he
Yeah,
digging for Tinker?
yeah, he
Yeah,
got
he's
there.
got a Tinker. James shows the seal cleansing that probably was part of the reason why he kept that hand, thinking that he'd be able to put it and preemptively answer the combo. At least the Altar of Dementia combo portion, uh, and he just never got the chance to cast it. So like the big difference there, like if Tom did not play that turn 2 Tangle Wire and gave James an opportunity to cast that seal cleansing, then that game would have been very very different.
Absolutely.
All right, so now we get to go to sideboards. So let's go over to the decks quickly. And James gets to bring in a lot of cards. I guess that's the short of it. There
Yeah.
are Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blasts can come in, Disenchants will come in, Seal Cleansing will come in. You could even say that like Arcane Laboratory is a card that could come in because that cuts down of like the combo half of the Fling. It makes Fling a little bit worse.
Mhm.
And 2 more Engineered Plagues. Uh, a million gazillion cards could come in. Um, I don't remember what cards he took out. I mean, Standstill, Sulfuric
Standstill.
Vortex. I don't. Sylvan. Well, Sylvan Library seems
I
fine
like Sylvan.
because you don't really care about your life total that much. I don't remember what he took out last time. Maybe the couple Incinerates. Just the cards are a little clunkier, or like Mog Fanatic is not that impactful. But
So he's bringing in 10 cards in theory.
up to yeah, he could bring on a bunch of cards. So
Okay.
we'll look at uh, Tom. So it's funny that those chills are there, but it's like I don't even know if they're good enough. Like the cards that you care about are not red. It's Enlightened Tutor, Engineered Plague, and Seal Cleansing and Disenchant that you really care about.
I think he brought him in last time, right? Just to slow James down.
Sure, I mean I could see it, but it just it's not. like I could see you chilling and then still having a lot of problems if because the cards that are problematic for you are still unhampered by the chill. But Rushing River is definitely coming in. It's just his
Yeah.
his only answer, and it's temporary to an Engineered Plague. And I mean,
Bridge could come in.
yeah, it's I mean, Bridge is like good against Ball Lightning, but it's pretty bad against all the other creatures. So I don't know. We might have seen the Bridge in a previous game, or maybe I'm confusing it with different matchups. But yeah. So yeah, I think things get better for James in the sense of like more cards are coming in, but at least Tom has an out to the game plan of an Enlightened Tutor Engineered Plague. All right, players are still sideboarding a bit, so I'm going to bring up some slides about our remaining players for this series. So we'll talk about James. He is a startup founder. He's in New York. His favorite magic artist is D. Alexander Gregory, and so I Flint, do you know the art of this artist? I did ask James when we were in our pregame. Did you know
I
before I
wouldn't
asked?
have been able to
Okay,
place this artist.
okay.
No.
So I'll let chat. I mean, I guess you can probably Google if you want to cheat. But does anyone know like from their so Ron
Ron just immediately.
Curse Scroll? Yes, the artist of Curse Scroll. So and Cursed Totem. Okay, so just everything cursed. Um, do you get like typecasted for art and be like, this is our cursed guy? Anything with cursed in the title goes to this guy.
Maybe.
But he says, which card do you wish were legal in pre-modern? He says Brainstorm. I do enjoy the idea of Brainstorm, but I'm pretty happy that our format does not have it. But
I'm so glad it's not in the format.
so, uh, favorite movie, he says, is GoldenEye. I don't think I've actually ever seen GoldenEye, which I don't know if I've talked about this on stream. Is I just like don't watch movies, so you'll probably all these movies that I'm gonna ask these people I have not seen.
It's a solid Bond film.
I've seen some of the. I've seen of Bond films. I've seen Skyfall. Is that what it's called?
Skyfall? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a newer one. I liked that one.
and I believe I've seen Casino Royale. Players are
That's a good
mulliganing,
one.
so I'll as soon as they're done, then I'll jump back over. But I'll keep an eye on the match because I'm sure people want to watch pre-modern a little more than me talk about the movies
I
I
don't
haven't
know.
have not
I'm
seen.
enthralled. Continue. Continue.
But James says his favorite video game is Mario Kart. So if he just say Mario Kart, do you think that means like any of the
It's got to be
franchise?
Mario Kart 64.
Okay,
It's got to be 64.
all right.
It'd be crazy if it's anything else.
I think I saw James look at his phone, so I think he's looking for your permission to go.
Yep.
All right. So
Granted.
I'll get back to that my nonsense about the stuff. So don't worry, chat. We'll get there. Ron says the Super Nintendo. I have a lot of difficulty playing like the Super Nintendo one. Like I don't know if it's just like the draw distance or the colors or it's it's really hard to like differentiate the foreground from the background. I don't know. Maybe I get spoiled from
It
playing newer games, but that's one thing. I mean, like when I was young, it was not a problem, but nowadays, I feel like it's more difficult.
Yeah, it's classic, but the 64 one I think brought the most to the table, just in terms of well-rounded game. People are still setting world records in that game
Oh,
for
do you ever
time trials.
watch Summoning Salt?
Yeah,
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 so
yeah. I've seen some of those videos.
yeah, that'll be my recommendation. I mean, it's a pretty popular YouTube channel, so I'm guessing a lot of you have already heard of it. But uh, did you let him know? Because James looks like
Yeah, I
he's so
just
weak.
sent a
Okay,
follow-up,
okay.
thumbs up.
It just maybe he had to like step away and go to the bathroom or something. So, um, anyway, Summoning Salt is a YouTuber that will make videos about oh, world records for speedruns for video games. And even if you're not like really familiar with a video game, he does a great job of making it really interesting and talking about the intricacies of all the little details. And it's really fun. And he's done some on Mario Kart tracks
Yeah.
specifically. So, all right, back to the game. Back to the game of Magic. James is going to start off with a Jackal Pup instead of a Grimlawmancer. So the clock is real. I mean, Jackal Pup's usually the card that you want to see the most for the slide deck just because it is the quickest clock. especially in these matchups where it's pretty much just a race because Grim Lavamancer, the interaction is not very relevant. But I feel like it's almost like the threat is secondary to, and James is like more looking in his opening hand of like what hate am I going to present against the combo deck.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's going on here?
It could just be a ball lightning, but it is an
Dun,
engineered play.
dun, dun. Now he's just going to sit back with all of his red blasts in hand and let Jackal Pup carry him to victory. Is that the plan?
Yeah, that's all he really needs to. So Jared says I love the flavor text of Jackal Pup. I don't even know that one offhand. Yeah, Ron, I guess I didn't get the timing down, but yes, playing a ball lightning post combat. I wonder how many times that's been done, and is it ever like correct? That would it ever be correct? Try and think of a scenario where it'd be correct to play a post combat ball lightning.
What a follow up to Tom's chill.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's definitely the answer, but it's like, is it? To me, I just feel like it's on Tom to find. Is this Tangleware? Yes.
Yeah.
To find something like even if James just doesn't cast any more spells, and he just leaves the chill on the table, like I guess the thing about Rushing River is it does take care of both Engineered Plague and Seal Cleansing, at least for a turn. So that is the nice thing about the Rushing River as a response is it can hit multiple hate cards in one shot.
James just says, I will bolt you for the full 3 and tap my pup.
Okay, so he'll deal 3 damage instead of 2. Bring up Rushing River. So that's kind of the card that basically Tom needs to find in order to have a shot at winning this game. Taps down the Tanglewire and 2 Shivan Reefs. That leaves him with 2 mana to cast an Altar of Dementia. Okay.
Seems good.
So I want to talk about like the deck building. I have talked to Tom in the past, and when I had played the Devourer deck, the one my complaint was that you are so reliant on this combo that I wanted like a sideboard plan that would kind of alleviate the stress on that one card. And I know Flint, you've played a list. It wasn't a true Devourer deck, but it did include the combo. And so, like, I don't know if people were bringing in engineered plagues against you or whatnot, but it's just this nice, like, if you have like Goblin Welder and Triskelion or just Masticore, just so the even if you still plan on eventually comboing out your opponent, like the meantime you have like a backup plan where Masticore just could get cast and you just might win a game by attacking 5 times with Masticore. But it looks like Tom had elected to build his deck with a consistency, and I could see that in the Showdown series because you can kind of navigate when to play the Devourer combo deck or not because of the ban system. But here it seems like it's really punishing him.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that drew me to the deck that I ended up playing, which was obviously not as powerful, but just had more win conditions. Is that sometimes the Devourer deck can just get stymied really, really hard by hate cards. And to be fair, when I was playing that, and I don't know what the meta was like when you played it in the monthly, but there weren't a lot of engineered plagues running around back then. To be fair, given the rise of goblins and elves, we're seeing a lot more decks packing it, and certainly we've seen a lot of plagues here in the series as well.
Yeah, it was like pretty standard. I feel like there's more now than when I played, but there were enough people playing it that I would expect it to come in. So Ron had talked about my question of when you would play a post combat ball lightning, and humility is the answer. I guess that's probably the answer to a lot of questions, and also the start of a lot of questions. So humility is a good choice.
Or lifeline when there's another creature in play.
Okay, that one's from Urza Saga.
Urza Saga, yeah. Looks like Tom is at 11. The attack last turn.
Okay. We're casting another 3-mana bolt.
Your B8.
Yeah, and so there's not that much time for Tom because I guess it's potentially 4 more turns, but and if you've seen 2 bolts, then you think that there's going to be a little bit less reach from James, but
Hmm. We could see an end of turn Enlightened Tutor for another Seal of Cleansing from James here as well.
yeah, I guess I guess since Tom does have the Alter Dementia off the table, that the seal is because Tom basically needs to. Oh, so he's rushing now. Does that mean he's gonna win next turn? Oh, he's bouncing the pup. So this is just a way to slow down the bleeding, I guess. Would you ever make that play for Tom if you don't have another rushing river in your hand?
I don't think so.
Okay, that was the impression I got because I was like, I feel like it does not buy you 1 turn worth of. I mean, you need to draw another rushing river, and obviously it's I don't to me it's not worth 1 turn.
He's in a pretty good spot here. I mean, he runs out the sphere and then another Tangle Wire. So he's got plenty of permanents to tap. James has to tap all of his land. It looks like no end of turn play. So it's just going to be some burn.
Okay, we
Just
just incinerate, so that puts him to 4.
He's just trying to take him off of mana. I mean, he's obviously trying to kill him, but still.
Well, I mean, at this point, like Tom he's able to tap like his most of his mana is accessible to him.
He could win here with this. No, he needs a Russian River.
Yeah, he would need a rushing river and
Yeah,
alter and tinker and doesn't have the mana for that.
it's a close game. Hey, Robin. Hey, Robin, I thought he was going to play Goblins as well. That was kind of my pick for the deck that he should play, but
Yeah, I don't know what he was like if it was kind of like a bluff double bluff thinking that like I guess so James's other deck was Star Spangled Slaughter. I don't know. Yeah. I mean cuz I don't really think you could say I'm afraid of Engineered Plague because to be the Devourer combo deck is I guess you could think that the Devourer maybe his argument is the Devourer combo can race the Engineered Plague better than Goblins can, but I think Goblins does a better job against an Engineered Plague than the Devourer combo deck, so looks like Tom had to play a land and therefore had to sack his City of Traders. So that's interesting because what does that indicate? Because if you're not using the mana now, then it would just be better to keep the City of Traders in play.
does that Tangle Wire die? There it goes.
He can tap it first the way he can
I know.
stack the triggers. So
He just drew his card. So
yeah, oh, okay.
it's taking at least one there.
That is a scarier number than 4. 3.
There's the
Well, yeah,
Tinker. Alter?
probably. I mean,
It's got to be. Yeah.
I mean, Tanglewire is the only, or I guess like Ensnaring Bridge would be the last card. But I mean, if you got your hand low enough, then Ensnaring Bridge in theory could buy you some time. But uh, I don't know. It doesn't help you win, and you need. All right,
Game.
we just have a third bolt. So
Wow.
with Tom at 3, That will. So if Tom didn't play that City of Brass, I guess he would have had to take a damage for the Tinker, anyways. Okay. All right. So we're at
Four.
yes, game four. We're doing this in a nice, quick fashion. All right. Well, the players are shuffling. I'll go back to my slide and we'll talk about James for a bit. We were talking about, so we just finished talking about Mario Kart. He said his favorite restaurant is Wild Air, and I wasn't familiar with it. I know I asked him in our pregame. I said, "Is that a chain that I just don't know of, or is it like a one of restaurant?" And he said it's a like a local restaurant. So that's really all I can tell you. But I'm sure it's great. His favorite ice cream flavor he lists as cookies and cream. Always a solid choice. I guess I don't think I would ever pick it as like my favorite, but it's like always just a comfort, safe choice. So
I wouldn't say no to it.
yeah, right, yeah. But Ron says they have the best air, wild caught air. And that's good. Serving up some air.
Air to table.
So we have Tom, and he is a manager, and he lives in, I think it's Cream Ridge, New Jersey, I think is what he listed it. In New Jersey. His favorite magic artist is Kev Walker. What piece of Kev Walker like comes to mind to you? Like the one card I think of for Kev Walker is the seventh edition Wrath of God. That's the first card I think of when I hear Kev Walker. Flint, you're muted.
Deranged Hermit is the one I
Deranged.
like.
Is that a Kev Walker card?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he did Deranged Hermit.
I guess the to me the art styles don't seem similar on those two types of cards. So yes, it is Kev Walker. So interesting. It is pretty interesting. I look at those two different arts that they seem like different artists. So
He also did Rancor.
yes, that's what Westicles had said. I'm not familiar with that username, so welcome.
Welcome.
Uh, he says his favorite video game is Gears of War. He said he team qualified for the 2008 MLG tournament. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So
Nice work, Tom.
yeah. Favorite restaurant is Conte's Pizza in Princeton, New Jersey. So, guessing a local pizza joint. And when I go out east, I will have to try some of the pizza. I know from what I always hear, the pizza's better there. I don't know. To me, okay, one of my hot takes is whenever people are like, this pizza's really good, I have really high expectations, and I feel like the pizza never meets my expectations. So I think pizza's overrated. I mean, pizza's good. Like it's hard to mess up pizza, but I've never had like pizza that I'm just like wowed by. Tom likes coffee flavored ice cream. What do you think about that?
I like coffee flavored ice cream. I think it's really good. And I actually like just regular coffee. I don't like when they put pieces of chocolate or other things in there, but just straight up coffee flavored ice cream is very good.
So obviously, there's a ton of different like flavors of coffee, but I haven't had that many different flavors of coffee ice cream. Like, how standardized is the flavor? Like, if I get like a Haagen Dazs flavored coffee as compared to some other brand, are is the coffee flavor significantly different, or do you think they're
I think they're probably similar, but we should ask Tom that.
right?
If that's his favorite, he probably has a taste for certain brands, if you will.
All right. Well, Tom's got a turn one Ancient Tomb, so maybe we could see a turn two win from Tom's perspective here. But he's not slamming a jeweled amulet, so Jared says there is bad pizza. It exists. Yeah, I mean, like I just said, it's hard to screw it up, and most of the time, if you are getting pizza at any place, it's going to be reasonable. All right, Tom tapping his ancient tomb. So if he's not winning quickly, like these two damages from it are going to add up. Got a mana floating, so we just have a chill. Okay, so it seems like We have a
Yeah,
Pyroblast out of James.
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, but also like that might not be the worst thing for Tom. Like it looks like he has. Oh, it is a
Old
Jeweled
amulet.
Amulet. All right, so that gets a colorless mana. Uh, but if Tom is worried about Pyroblast, I mean, you don't want to get your Tinker Pyroblasted, so that exchange isn't the worst thing in the world. Looks like we have a Disenchant taking out the altar. I think you're less excited about that.
Yeah, that's not as great. He was definitely setting up to win next turn.
Yeah, I mean, like that would be something we can ask Tom is if he did have the Tinker in hand, he could have gone for the kill right there, and if James didn't have the Pyroblast, he would have won. But it looks like if Tom did have that immediate turn two kill, he was respecting Pyroblast, which James did have. All right, so Tom needs to find. So, is there any merit to keeping more Phyrexian Devourers in and just like playing them as a 6 mana 1/1, and then like if James is committing to a burn spell to it, it's like I don't know what the odds are, but it's likely that it would resolve like one burn spell. Is there any merit to that? And then like if you ever sneak that into play, then you do have some protection against the engineered plague that would come down.
Yeah, I hear you. The only problem is all the seal of cleansings and disenchants that James does run. So he could just nuke it, via destroy effect. But I mean, if that's your line, right?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of, but like if you aren't playing the Devourer first, then you need to commit an Altar of Dementia, and that can get seal cleansing. So it's like I guess it's a difference of like committing 6 mana to two, but like it doesn't seem really that different from a disenchant perspective, in my opinion.
Here comes the plague.
And
Here
it would
comes the
open up our
plague.
opportunities for Fling to be better, just so you wouldn't need to have 8 mana in one turn, that you could split it up. Yep, here's a Engineered Plague going to the top of James's deck via Enlightened Tutor. Yes, he could play Engineered Plague, naming Phyrexian. I think he also could do Construct. I think are his choices. All right, so there is a Tangle Wire in play. So how many like it's going to be a little bit hard for James to get this Engineered Plague
Right.
on the battlefield right away. So maybe Tom's in okay shape in the sense that he's got a decent number of turns. Like if James isn't hitting land drops, he's gonna tap three. Next turn he would tap if he doesn't have any more land. James would tap two the next turn and still wouldn't have. I guess it depends if he hits a land drop or not. Takes a point for City of Brass getting tapped. Nice way to
No
deal
played it.
damage for Tom,
Mana.
but
Yep.
he does have fetch land, so potentially if he has another mana source, he could be casting Engineer Plague next turn through this Tangle Wire. But Tom quickly taps his Tangle Wire and the Ancient Tomb, so I don't think he has any intention of casting a Phyrexian Devourer. this turn, like preemptively, because if he had, I guess there's no good way to do it unless he had another soul land,
Hmm.
because he would have to tap Tanglewire and a 1 mana source. So
I think he's doing some math in his head.
what decisions would he need to be thinking right now? I mean, it,
Does he tinker right now for something?
yeah,
Tinker away the amulet to get another tangle wire, or but that just slows him down so much too, and he loses a permanent to tap.
yeah, but he might just be worried that when this engineered play comes down, it might take more resources just to get it off the battlefield. But all right, we're tapping 3 mana, colorless mana from the Jeweled Amulet, and we do see a Tinker. James is gonna respond. So
Ooh,
does he have another
blast.
blast or red? Yeah, Pirate Blast or Red Elemental Blast. This makes it tough. Yeah. Yep. The Red Elemental Blast gets cast, and Tinker gets countered.
I think we're gonna see a pretty quick tap here.
Yep. So 3 mana is accessible for James, so I have to imagine that the Engineered Plague is going to come down.
There it is.
All right, the life totals are close, but the board state. I guess there's not any pressure on James's side. So
Mm.
if Tom does have a Rushing River, then he still is kind of in the same position of I just need to assemble my 2 card combo.
Yeah, I mean he could play an altar right now and still Russian River at the end of James's turn.
Though he only has 2 cards in his hand, it looks like. So
Yeah,
you'd have to be kind of just hoping that the top of the deck is kind
yeah,
of you.
yeah. He's got to wait.
I mean, I think like Factor Fiction or Impulse are probably the cards that he wants most. So looks like the Jackal Pup comes back down. That one was it was this game that it got Rushing Rivered, right? Or was that a different game? Was it this game that it never got recast? I, I could look.
I don't
No, no, because
know.
this one
There's a blue. Oh no, it wasn't. It
there
wasn't
was
this
a
game.
Tinker. Yeah,
No.
the 2 blue cards in his graveyard in Tom's
Chill
graveyard
and
are
Tinker.
yeah. So
Yeah,
right,
that was last game.
I was just say like that Jackal Pup stayed in the hand for a long time, but no, I'm confusing games.
Pretty strong follow up here from James too.
Yeah, that pretty much just feels
I don't know if it's the nail, but it's a nail
yeah,
certainly.
yeah. It just seems like I guess it still is the same situation as like Rushing River is needed. It's just gonna you're gonna have to sacrifice land. Like I I don't know if you play the altar here. Like now it just makes it harder to win, right? I think you needed to wait
Yeah, wait and bounce end of turn.
because
Bounce the seal and the plague.
you need to get rid of the engineered plague, and that's in the
Yep.
form of Rushing River, and you'd always be able to target or sacrifice another land and kick it. So you'd be able to get the altar or the seal cleansing off the table for that turn. I mean, you would need to spend 2 extra mana to cast altar in that same turn, but now Tom needs to find another altar.
Mm-hmm. Tom's down to 11 now, 2 with that Jackal Pup attack.
And a second pup has joined the fray.
A pack of pups.
Sure.
A duo of dogs. A pair of pooches. Oh, there's the rushing river.
Well, but there's only one card in hand, right?
Mm-hmm. Is he just hoping to draw it off the top?
I mean, I think you're
Part of
just.
the cards.
At this point you're hoping to cast. I guess if you're playing the altar and it draws out the seal cleansing, it opens up the opportunity for you to just cast Phyrexian Devour when the Engineered Plague is not on the battlefield. I think like maybe that was a line he was going for, that like he was hoping to either have the Devourer or have the mana source 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to cast it, and then just hope that it's big enough. Yeah, anytime anyone talks about a group of animals now, I'm thinking about what the proper name is. An Engineered Plague's coming back down, and I think this will be the last time, because I don't think Tom has enough resources to fight through this.
I'm just gonna draw. This is it. I don't think you can win.
It's just a pack of jackals. Boring, according to Jared. So. All right, we've got mana. Is it Pyroclasm?
Yeah.
I think that is the Portal Pyroclasm. All right, I guess maybe I spoke too soon. That Pyroclasm also deals 4 damage. So that's kind of cool. But yeah,
Tom will take it.
Yeah, I guess it would. The only time it would make a difference if he just was able to sneak in a Devourer and just attack a couple times with it. But other than that, I don't think the damage makes a difference.
All right. Oof.
All right, this is a pre-combat ball
Pre-combat
lightning.
ball lightning.
It seems like the best kind of ball lightning. So
Does Tom have a blast here? He doesn't run blue blast, does he? Or maybe he has his last rushing river.
it is a rushing river, but it doesn't. There's no one card that he could draw. I don't think. I think that's what he's saying to get him out of that situation.
Whew.
All right, so there we have our winner of our first semifinal. So James, with the 5 Color Sligh deck, takes down the Devourer Combo in Tom's hands. So that means James will be moving on to our finals, which will be played on Thursday. We still have another semifinals match tonight, but that also does mean that Tom is eliminated from the PSS. He will not be our champion. But let's jump in and listen to the players and hear what they have to say.
I was worried about that. That's why I was like, at one point I thought about tapping the gemstone mine, and then I didn't. I didn't have enough creatures that were going to kill me, but conceivably I could kill myself pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tight. I feel like, the game 2 was certainly your strongest draw with the Tangle Wire.
Yes.
Like that strategically came out 3, 6. Missing one card. But then other than that, I feel like it was kind of like tough draws. Like both rushing rivers were not impactful. I felt, which is tough, right?
Well, if I drew a land, but wait, what did I need? I think when I bounced that plague there, I think I needed a land.
There was a turn, exactly. That was the turn. I'm like, well, if you have it, you have it.
Yeah, I had wait, I can't remember now. I actually can't remember.
Yeah.
I'll unmute them now.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh. What's up, guys?
Hello. All right, we're looking at
Hey.
James with this like 8,000 cards that you needed to bring in. So
the problem is I like lose win condition, but
sure.
That's what was kind of game 4 was, wanted to kill him faster. But
well,
we were just talking about he had the turn where he had it open, right?
Yeah,
he had a tinker.
And then you kind of talked about how he had to use his rushing river so early, and like if a card like Engineered Plague comes down, the only way for him to win is to find another Rushing River. So using those early is really painful for Tom. So
Yeah, when they're defensive versus kind of proactive, setting up his win.
yeah,
Definitely I'm happy to see that, especially when he's not sacrificing a land to do more impact to me as well. It's kind of tells me a certain situation about the gameplay, but I was saying kind of game 2 was what I expected at least another one of the games to be like, kind of early Tangle Wire putting me off such that I couldn't get an answer on the board. But I think I kind of just got some luck on Tom's draws there. So but I think that was we played the same matchup in the round robin.
yep.
And I think every game was basically even. Though I kind of knew once kind of if he's playing the Tangle Wire game, then it can start to favor me as long as I can actually kill him.
Sure. So that was one thing I wanted to point out, is that the bans were exactly the same of when you guys did play in the round robin. Was that something that you guys both noticed, or is it something like, did you anticipate playing the same decks? Was that something that you were prepared for, or did you think someone was going to deviate for what they did last time, or what did you expect the other player to bring?
I expected it to be the same matchup. I am still afraid of that Psychotog deck. Just counterspells really fuck with my decks, or pardon me, screw with my decks. So that's where my ban came from. And then I had a feeling that Devourer was going to come back. I mean, I think Tom is very comfortable playing the deck, and Goblins against both of my playable decks is probably a worse matchup. Though I think Goblins versus 5 Color Sligh could have been an interesting one as well.
Yeah, do you really think Goblins is that bad against 5 Color Sligh?
I don't know. I've got the main deck Engineered Plague. I have another 2. I have the 4 Enlightened Tutors. I think that helps. As long as, and if I can go kind of get the Lackey off, but I don't know. I don't love the matchup. Like, probably banning it if I play Jared, right? So,
I mean, you do have plagues, but Goblins has Naturalize, right? And one plague is not enough to seal
definitely
the deal.
Yeah, and definitely, but in this case, I think Tom's on the mono red.
Are you, Tom?
So I have a little more confidence.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with James though. Goblins is so bad against like Sly. It's like very bad.
Yeah, that's why I figured list isn't as fast though. I don't know. So part of me wanted you to play Goblins, and maybe that's where this is coming from. But I would like to see that match. Maybe we can have a bonus match at some point. You guys can play it. I'd love to see it, because I think Goblins might have a fighting chance. The problem is just Devourer is just dead to an Engineered Plague games 1 and 2, right? Like, and kudos to you, Tom, for pulling out game 2. That was awesome. A big win. But it just seems like being potentially down 2 games right off the bat is scary enough for me. Admittedly a coward to want to bring Devourer to the table. But have you played Goblins against a lot of Sly matches?
James, I don't know if you have or not, but I have like I played a lot with my friend Evan.
Okay.
It's I don't even know, like, if I had to break it down, I feel like it's something like 85-15. It's just like everything lines up very well for Sly. Lackey's like, I don't even know what the percentage of the chance of it not dying on the turn 1, or just at least having a blocker. And then turn 2, Goblins has to have like Incinerator or like a Bolt if they're running that, or a Fanatic. It's not like Lackey's probably not getting through. I don't know. It's interesting. And then Pile Driver doesn't trade well. It's like interesting.
Yeah, for it's been a while since I played that matchup, but I know I don't try and play a turn 1 Lackey with a Goblin deck. I try and put it on a different turn, because it makes them use their mana on a more crucial turn, because they're almost always going to have an answer. And then you just try and make them use their burn spells on some of your creatures, and then you can like Matron and Ringleader. I didn't think the matchup was that bad. Certainly not 85-15, but it's been a while since I played it.
Yeah, I think my thinking was, I looked at the board. I didn't love my boarding against Goblins. I basically was bringing 2 more plagues. It's kind of a race to find them as quickly as possible. Yeah, that's it. And I definitely, I play fewer burn spells, right? So it definitely impacts me. So was I excited to play that matchup? Probably not, but I also didn't think I was going to. But Tom, did you figure I was going to be on the 5-color whatever thing I'm playing?
Yeah. Yeah, I envisioned a rematch. And I didn't feel comfortable kind of either way, but I don't know, I've played Devourer more, so I was like, I feel comfortable. But there's some like tricky spots. But it's funny, Devourer's like you would think like it would struggle or it would be favored against Sligh, but it's definitely not. It's like actually one of its worst matchups in general. Just with like Power Blast out of the side and yours in particular with like the plagues and stuff, but it is pretty rough. Like with artifact removal on the sideboard, and they're like a turn 4, turn 5 deck too. Plus, Ancient Tomb is like a liability.
Yeah. I was curious, why did you ban my Dreadnought?
Oh, I don't want to play against it, and I know I've seen you play it before. Like you play it really well. So yeah, it's like one of the decks I'm not fond of playing against.
Yeah.
And I know you know like the ins and outs of it, so I was like, I don't know. I feel like I've been banning a lot of the duress decks in this tournament.
Fair. Yeah, it's interesting though because I knew that I was banning Psychotog, and I didn't love the Dreadnought matchup on either Devourer or Goblins. I just feel like both those decks can race, especially the blue-black, which is maybe like, let's call it a quarter or half a turn slower than the Esper. It's interesting. Again, a fun matchup to play, probably. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned it earlier. Why did you ban Psychotog twice? I honestly think that was going to happen.
Yeah, I think my decks are bad against counterspells in general. So I think counter magic and again a lot of my decks, all my decks kind of go tit for tat. It's so you being able to play the trade game is like probably bad for me because you're only going to be ramping up and I'm going to be ramping down across my decks. So it's kind of it's like the mid late game that probably makes me most scared of it. Like I can win, like sure I can have productive like turns 1 through 3, maybe 3.5. But after that, it's kind of in your weighted heavily in your favor. Yeah. At least I think.
Well, and talk about
definitely.
people who are good with certain archetypes. Tom, obviously,
Well,
you have an
exactly.
excellent
There's
record
that,
with
yeah.
Psychotog too. So
Yeah. I don't know if can anyone hear my dog snoring?
Yeah, I think
I
I was
did.
just looking at her, and
I
she's
wasn't-
so cute. She's so
She's
cute.
over there.
I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna ask. I was like, is there a
Like, is that a
child
person?
asleep like in this room? Like, do you have a cold? Like, yeah. I'm glad we sorted that one out.
I usually let my opponent know because she's always chilling when I'm playing. But I was trying to throw you off your game a little bit. Like, what the hell is that lurking from beneath?
It's the Phyrexian Devourer in the background. It's looming. All right, I guess that answers really, I guess, all the questions I had. It came down because when I saw the matchup again, it's kind of like, and there's more sideboard games. On paper, it just seems like it's a miserable matchup for the Devourer deck. So I was just a little surprised to see it, but I guess I can kind of understand the thought process, and so yeah, that's what basically I was curious, and I think chat was a little bit as well. But yeah, it was good to see you steal that game on or the game 2 on the play with and we were talking about whether you could have passed a turn and like played the Tangle Wire a turn later, but then James would have been able to cast that Seal Cleansing, I think, and so the game would have been a lot different. Because you paused there, and I don't know if that was something that you were considering, because you might get a little bit more value if the Tangle Wire waits a turn, but yeah, the game would have been a lot different then. So
yeah, that's exactly what the thought process was. It's like awkward there, like basically losing like a tap step for them, but it's like I was like if I'll fold here to a Seal Cleansing. Yeah, the matchup's like very. I mean, it's like kind of miserable, like you said, but yeah, it played a pretty. It was more interesting than I thought.
yeah,
agreed. We have a very important question for you, Tom. Are all coffee ice creams created equally, or are there certain coffee ice creams that are far better than the competitors?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I guess because it kind of stemmed from because I know there's like a bunch of different flavors of coffee, like just natural to liquid coffee, and then I wasn't sure if like the ice cream brands of coffee, like if the coffee flavor is different or if they're all pretty much the same.
I think they're just all the same. I don't even know what the hell it is. It's just like gets regular coffee, but
Yeah,
yeah,
So-
that is.
they're all going for that same flavor. Okay.
It's good. I'm a fan.
Do you like it with chocolate chips or no chocolate
No,
chips?
I explicitly said
Yeah.
no chocolate chips myself, but I don't know what your stance is, Tom.
Just plain. I'm everything plain. Hamburger plain, hot dog plain. It's the way to go.
Wait, do you just like, is it just bun, meat, bun? Or like, can you put
Actually,
cheese in
I
there,
don't
or-
really eat bread, so I just eat meat.
It's not even like a lettuce in a lettuce wrap.
Sometimes,
Okay.
but
Is it like the double down? It's like meat patty and then fixins and then meat patty, and you just kind of go at it that way.
basically.
It's like
Yeah,
pure keto. That's
My
what
man.
this is. Yeah. The more you know.
awesome. Anything else you guys want to throw in regarding the match?
No, I mean, fun playing, Tom. I'd say both times we played throughout this tournament were good matches. So those are tight.
Yeah, definitely. I wish we had like a different matchup, but I was like anticipating the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess James, good luck in the finals, and Mike and Flint, thanks for running this and inviting me. It was awesome.
Thanks, Tom.
No,
Thank
it was
you
like
so much, Tom.
it made the week looking forward to something and the hype and the build up. So it was
Alright.
definitely worth it.
All right,
It was
cool.
sick.
Well, job well done. It's unfortunate you had to lose, but someone had to. So,
Definitely.
all right.
All right, thanks,
Congrats,
guys.
James.
Yep, and we will see
Thank you,
James.
thank you.
James on
In the finals.
Thursday as he fights for his title at the champion.
I'll message you about Thursday. You're not going to be happy with me. I'm sorry in
Okay.
advance.
All right.
Uh-oh. All right, get out of here, you.
right.
You're already in
All right.
trouble.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks,
James.
guys. See ya.
All right, so we have a little bit of time before we set things up for our next match. So I'll go back to our get to know the players. So we are going to cover our other two playing players. So we'll talk about John Grudzina. So John is a quant developer and trader. So do you know what that is? I had to Google this. My thought was it was like quant was like some kind of programming language, but I was not. I don't think that's what it was. Basically, my understanding was it had to do with developing software to kind of predict how stocks and whatnot would gain value and trade them. It kind of sounds like a new age like stockbroker kind of thing.
Cool.
That was my
I
understanding.
knew he was a trader.
Okay.
And by that I mean trade DER, everybody. But I didn't know he was a quant developer. That's fascinating.
Right. Says his favorite artist is Rebecca Gouet, and so
Respect.
yeah, that's a fine choice. So, which card do you wish was legal in Premodern? So this one has an asterisk by it. So that means that John did not fill it out. So that I got the option to fill it out for him. So maybe this will deter. Maybe this is just going to encourage people in the future to leave things blank on my questionnaire. But I picked Drooling Grudian because it kind of sounds like his name. So does anyone know what that card is?
I just looked it up. It's in Ravnica.
Yeah, it was like a playable card in limited. It's it's 3 green, black for a 4/3, and it has the ability of like 2 green, black to sacrifice another creature to give. I don't know if it's target or if it has to be your opponent. It's probably target.
Creature
Target's
gets
-2/-2, and then another target creature gets +2/+2. So
Yeah.
no, it certainly was not a first pick, but it was like if the game goes long and you had it could do stuff. Damage, I think, stacked still in Ravnica when it came out, but it sounds like his last name. Unless I'm saying his name wrong and he hasn't corrected me, maybe it's something else. But Drooling Grudian, that Premodern legal, maybe someday.
All right.
So, favorite movie. Again, John did not fill this one out, so I had no idea what I'm supposed to put. Like, how am I supposed to know what John's favorite movie? So what I did was I typed in favorite movie John Grudzina, and it did not come up with any results that really led to any movie. So then I typed in favorite movie New York, which is where John's from. And the first image I saw was Hustlers, the Jennifer Lopez film. So which, ironic enough, is a movie that I have seen. So,
I have not seen it.
have not seen GoldenEye. Have seen Hustlers. It was, I don't. It was serviceable. I don't know. It was basically cookie cutter of what like you expect to happen in a movie of that plot. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, that's quote unquote John's favorite movie. His favorite video game is Civ 6. So, have you played the Civilization franchise?
I've played the original, and that's it.
I have played the original and Civ 2. So, I am just the old man of everything. I don't know, like, there's one of the Civs, I don't know if it was not as loved in the franchise as other ones. I don't know if it was 5 or is it 6? I don't know. I was just talking about some of this weekend, but I played a lot of Civ 1 and Civ 2. Also, why is Civ 1 just not like a mobile phone app? Like, doesn't that just seem like the perfect game to play on your phone?
It would be very good as a mobile app.
I just want it and I can't find it. I guess even like an emulation, like that would be sweet, but I don't know. All right, favorite restaurant. So this one, I just typed in best restaurant in New York, and I picked one of them that I saw. It has a good Yelp review. Like it's like 4.8 stars with like 3,000 views. It's a
How many Michelin stars does this place have?
I don't know. It's a French restaurant. It had like $4 signs, so I don't know if that's the most
3
expensive.
Michelin stars. Whew.
Is that a lot or a little or what?
That's pretty good.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing it's some well-known restaurant. I've never heard of it. Have you?
No, but James has
All right.
apparently in chat, and he was like, "Ooh, fancy schmancy."
Okay, so John's favorite ice cream flavor is salted caramel, which is something I would not have. I don't even know if I had heard of it when I was little, but I appreciate salted caramel a lot in a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
different
good.
things, in cupcakes or donuts and whatnot. Salted caramel is
Cupcakes,
good.
yeah.
So, yeah, just to highlight, the ones that are in yellow and asterisk were answered by me and not John. So don't hold them to liking Hustlers. It's my fault. All right. We'll move on to Jared. He's our last semifinalist. He is a police dispatcher, though I do know he is currently in school. He's going back to school, so that might change. His favorite magic artist is Mengus. He said he's a great dude, so that's Jeff Mengus, I believe. Though I don't know offhand. I'm trying to think Jeff Mengus. Jared says, I just quit my job. He's a full-time PSS player. But that's only going to happen for 1 to 2 more days. So, he says his. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Menges is a bunch of old cards, right? A bunch of old school
Yes.
stuff like Bazaar and Swords and all that.
Like Swords of Plowshares.
Yeah, the
Oh.
OG one.
Okay, yeah.
Bazaar, Baghdad. What else did he do? Did he do?
Okay, yes, Swords of Plowshares. Okay.
I think he did some zombie cards as well. I'm bad with artists.
Yeah, there's some of a lot of them I'm pretty bad with. So, Jared wishes Goblin Grenade were legal in Premodern. Don't know if I would agree that would help the format. I mean, I guess that was not necessarily the question. Like it's not like what.
Totally fair.
Like it was just like he enjoys playing goblins. It would make the goblins deck better. It's something he wishes it were pre-ordered. So not saying that he's thinking that would make the format better or anything. It's just something he wants. But I would veto that, I guess. Favorite movie, he says Gladiator. I have seen that one. It is a very good movie. I enjoy it.
Pretty solid.
Yes. Favorite video game, he says. So these are all Zelda titles: A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, or Breath of the Wild. So how many of these have you played?
I played 2. I'm about to start Breath of the Wild, but
Okay.
I've played Link to the Past a bunch, and I played Ocarina of Time. I played through it, I think, twice back in the day.
Okay, so I'll make you. Which one do you like better, Ocarina or A Link to the Past?
I think Link to the Past is just a better game for its time, but Ocarina
Okay.
of Time is such a good game. It's really like splitting the finest of hairs here. But for
Okay.
their times, I do think Link to the Past is probably the better game.
All right. I do know one thing I remember about playing Breath of the Wild was I loved how it didn't have like a set path. And I mean, I haven't played a lot of it because this is probably more common than what I've experienced. But certainly in any of the Zelda games, you pretty much have to do everything in a set order, at least to
Yeah.
the majority of things. But I just remember like encountering like one of like the I don't know if they're bosses or whatever you want to call them in the wild, and like the screen like zooms out and it gives like a title of the name, and I'm like, I had just started and I have like 3 hearts and like no weapons, like no bombs or anything, and I'm just like, oh man, I just like got like my heart started pounding. I'm like, this is intense, and like that feeling was really cool because that usually wouldn't happen in a normal game because they usually just kind of ease you into every fight. That's like you, if you've gotten to this point in the game, you should be prepared for the fight. And to me, I did not feel that that was the case for where I was at in the game, and I thought that was a very cool experience. So
Yeah, I like that about open world games as well, like Skyrim, Elder Scrolls stuff. Really fun.
yep. So favorite restaurant, he says I eat McDonald's way too much. So kind of a non-answer in a sense that like I don't know what that necessarily means. It is his favorite. It's probably just saying that that is the one he most frequents. And as a father, I could say that I do end up at McDonald's more than I would like. Though I mean, I like McDonald's in the sense that like it's consistent, it's fast, and you know what you're gonna
It's
get.
food.
So and my kids don't complain about it. So there's benefits to that. Favorite ice cream flavor is mint chocolate chip. What do you think about that one?
You know, I'm not crazy about it. To me, it's kind of like a vanilla. It's like I'll eat it. It's ice cream. It's good, but not a huge fan of mint chocolate chip.
Yeah, so I do not like mint in foods very much at all, and I would much rather just prefer vanilla ice cream over mint chocolate chip. So I mean, I do like vanilla, so that's probably saying something. But yeah, mint
I like
not
vanilla custard.
mint not my favorite. Yeah, that's also good. But all right, so let us bring up our schedule. So I think what we're going to end up doing is taking a brief intermission. I guess there is one thing that I will talk about. I don't have a slide for this, but I had posted in the Facebook group that we are doing a giveaway in our finals match. So that'll be on the stream on Thursday. We will be giving away $50 to one of the viewers that is in chat. What we're going to do is everyone's going to have to say something in chat, and we're going to pick a random person out of those participants. So it'll be $50, and that is thanks to our sponsor this season of CardSphere. So that is made possible to their contributions and supporting us. So briefly talking about CardSphere, if you're not familiar with the service, it is a website where you can buy and trade, sell Magic the Gathering cards. The way it works is you have credits which are tied to actual dollars. So it's there are options to cash out of the service if you prefer, but you can send a card to a person. Once they receive it, they confirm that you get the credits. You're then able to spend those credits by getting cards from someone else. So it's not a one-to-one trading. You can basically get your cards, give your cards to people who want them and have the resources, and then get the cards from the people that have them given if you have the given resources. So a very cool service to trade Magic cards, which one thing, I don't know if it's my age or just the way that the game has moved on, but there's just not as much trading as there used to be, and that's one thing that, I mean, it is a trading card game after all, so it's a cool service to bring back something that I think we can say that we all love about the game. There are aspects of trading that are frustrating, but CardSphere does make that easier. So tune in on Thursday for a chance to win that $50. You will need a PayPal account to receive the funds if you are selected. I guess I will talk about, in a similar sense, if you're not able to watch the live stream, if you're maybe watching this on YouTube, and there is time on this Friday, December 3rd, we will select a winner based on a post that I made in the Premodern Facebook group. So you need to reply to that post with your favorite deck from the Premodern Showdown series, and I will select one person to win an additional $50. So again, thanks to our sponsor, CardSphere. Okay, so here we will have a quick break, and we're going to get John and Jared set up. But in the meantime, stay put. We'll hang around and chat for a bit. I'm going to get a few things ready on the back end, and we'll be back for our second semifinals match tonight.
See you soon.
All right, everybody. Thank you for your patience. We have our second match ready to go. We have John up against Jared. So let's jump down to the band screen and talk about the decks that they have available for this best of 5 semifinals. John brought Survival Elves, Star Spangled Slaughter, and his Oath or Prison Oath, which has been banned, while Jared has Goblins, Draco Blast, and his 5-color Terragun, which has been banned. So, all right, Flint, I will go back. These two players played in week 5, and again, they banned the same decks. So, in the previous match, Jared picked Goblins, and John picked the Star Spangled Slaughter deck, in which Jared was victorious. So, Flint, what do you think the players are going to bring for this semifinal match?
Oh man, I think John was pretty adamant about not playing elves, given his extensive experience with the deck, and he said it's a terrible matchup against both of the decks. So yeah, he's probably going to lean towards the red, white, and blue deck. But Jared, I mean, he lost with goblins against it last time, and he's good with goblins, but he's also pretty good with Draco Blast. And I almost wonder if he's going to try to change things up because he doesn't think that John is going to be on elves. So I'm guessing he's actually going to run with Draco Blast. So this is my switch play that I thought Tom was going to make and he didn't, but I think Jared's going to do it. I think we're going to see.
Did I get my notes wrong? I thought Jared beat John. Was it the other way around?
Let me look. John beat Jared.
Oh,
2-0.
okay. I guess I must be thinking of the one Jared played against James, and I think it was the same matchup but a different result.
Yeah. I think it's going to be red, white, and blue versus Draco Blast.
Okay. So let's go over to the decks, and we have first up. John is going to be playing. That's not the right list. Let's bring this up.
Oh my God! A late entry of Sly.
Yes. All right. Apparently, I didn't update this. All right, we will bring up. It is none other than
Suspense.
the Star Spangled Slaughter deck. Okay, so yes, the red, white, and blue deck is what John has chosen. Do you want to talk about this deck briefly while I get up the deck that Jared is playing?
Very briefly, yeah. It's a tempo-y mid-range deck. It has a lot of answers in Disenchant, Swords, Lightning Bolt, Fire Ice. It doesn't have any hard counters, but it does have Memory Lapse to tempo people out. And there's a cute little predict package that goes along with the Memory Lapse and the Portent and the Meddling Mage. And I played this deck quite a bit a couple months ago, and I think Meddling Mage is the all-star card in the deck. It allows this deck to win a lot of matches it shouldn't win because everything is so tight in terms of card for card. And it was a pretty challenging deck to play. John's a good player, though, very patient player, so he can certainly do well with this deck.
All right, John will be up against Jared, who is piloting the Draco Blast deck. So good job, Flint. You are just a predictor of all sorts.
An augur, if you will.
All right, so this black-red mid-range deck has a combo thrown in with Insidious Dreams that can put Erratic Explosion and Draco on the top to deal 16 damage, which kind of can come out of nowhere because Insidious Dreams is an instant. So that is kind of the quick and dirty of the deck. We have seen it in action, but I'm going to jump down to our key card screen. I think this should be updated. Yes. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure how this will play out, and I am pretty excited to see this, but Swords to Plowshares might be an important card out of the Star Spangled Slaughter because it answers some of the threats like Hypnotic Spectre and that Jared might be presenting. And maybe in a corner case, John might have to exile one of his own creatures to gain life to get out of burn range. Don't know if that's going to come up, but I'd like to think it might. Then out of the sideboard, a card like Blue Elemental Blast, just a quick, efficient card to deal with some of the red spells. So I have Insidious Dreams up as a key card, and John does have permission in the form of Memory Lapse in the main deck. But the thing when I looked at the list is John only has 22 lands, and a lot of the times if he needs to present a clock, he's got to cast Lightning Angel, and he might not have 6 mana available where he's playing Lightning Angel with Memory Lapse backup. And with Insidious Dreams being an instant, Jared might be able to sneak it in and then just deal 16 out of nowhere. So I don't know if that's exactly how it's going to play out, but it's something that I think is going to be on the players' minds and will impact at least the first 2 games for sure. And then out of the sideboard, Jared does have 2 Pyroblast and 1 Red Elemental Blast. Put the Red Elemental Blast because I felt like it was pretty fitting, the red against the blue. But just a cheap red spell to interact with the blue spells. And notably, it could destroy a Meddling Mage or a Lightning Angel that is on the battlefield. So that's what I anticipate, but I'm excited to see how this match will play out. All right, let's jump down the match. Flint, you can let our players know that they can begin. I am going to set up a poll for our viewers at home so that they can predict who is going to win this second match. All right, you have 2 minutes. Now's your chance. John is going to start with a Flooded Strand while Jared is going to take a damage to cast Grim Lavamancer. So I guess the jig is up. Both players know exactly what they're playing against. So now we'll see how things develop for both these players.
I think it's noteworthy too that there aren't any wastelands in Jared's list, because attacking the mana base of this red, white, and blue deck is a really effective way to win. But John doesn't have to worry about it in this matchup.
Yeah, it's probably something that John is excited to see or not see. So the Flooded Strand goes and gets a Plains. And then we have the Swords to Plowshares on the Grim Lavamancer. So the Grim Lavamancer, I guess it's a recurring source of damage, which is somewhat problematic if the game's going to go really long. I guess the other thing is if it takes out a Meddling Mage, I guess Also, I guess if you have a card like Mother of Runes in your hand, you need to get Grim Lavamancer off the board to get it online. Though Jared has not shown any cards in his graveyard yet, and so
what do you name here? Bolt?
I don't know. I mean, given I think it's less likely that there's a Dark Ritual Hypnotic Spectre, so it's not like I'd be naming Dark Ritual. I don't know. I mean, Lightning Bolt seems hard, but Lightning Bolt's not even that good against John.
He named Fiend.
Mesmeric Fiend. Okay. I do like the idea of that because I think Mesmeric Fiend is a card that interacts in a much more meaningful way against John than Lightning Bolt does. That is probably a name that doesn't get named very often, though. Mesmeric.
Probably not.
Yes, but I do like it, so.
Beats for 1.
Yes, so
There's the ritual.
Jared goes to 17.
Marina.
Or 6. Did I miss 16? All right. So the Memory Lapse is what's played against the Phyrexian Arena, and given that that was ritualed out, that is really painful. Yeah, I agree, Ron. Jared is in big trouble. Memory Lapse is painful when you're just getting 1 card to the top, but when you're basically spending 2, Jared's doesn't have a second land. He's not going to be drawing it next turn. This Memory Lapse is very effective. And we see the Lightning Angel come down in the spot where Jared's kind of just under the gun, and I don't think
Oh my.
I don't think. Yeah, second angel.
All right. Game two. Game
That's
two.
that's enough
Jared's
for
seen
Jared.
enough.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So I think Jared was probably. He did. How much did he mulligan? He did mulligan, right?
I think he mulliganed once, if not twice.
Okay.
So
he was already dealing with limited amount of cards, and I think he was looking at his hand and thinking, "All right, I need some lands for this to go anywhere," and they just never came. So he did find a ritual for Phyrexian Arena, or maybe vice versa, but that memory lapse. All right, yawn count. That's at least one. I've definitely yawned, I think, before.
Young count one.
Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. All right. I guess in the meantime, let's go. I have get to know the players. So this is the players that have been eliminated since we have gone all over the 4 players that are playing tonight. But we're going to talk about some of the players that were part of the PSS that are no longer playing because it's fun to get to know them. So Aaron Dix is a quality manager for an aerospace engineering company. That's fancy.
He pretty fancy.
Yeah. Something I guess that's good. Like, I think you want your airplanes to have good quality. Would you agree?
I would agree.
All right.
That was a tough decision, but yeah, I will agree.
Aaron's favorite artist is D. Alexander Gregory, and now that we know, it is just the artist of all the cursed things in the magical world. So, Cursed Scroll and Cursed Totem. So, a fan of multiple players of the PSS3. Which card do you wish was legal in Premodern? He says Mishra's Bauble. He'd cut his Sligh decks down to 52 cards.
The players have started.
Oh, okay.
We got a Dark Ritual and an Arena.
All right, so this one is not getting memory lapsed. The Arena will be in play, and that is that can really change the way of the game because John's deck does go 1 for 1 a lot, and having an Arena in play, if Jared's life total isn't pressured, then he can really outcard John, which is not very common. Like, it's not usually easy to outcard the blue decks, but
yeah, that's the best first turn play for Jared.
Ooh, lots of land from John, and we see a Lightning Angel, a Meddling Mage, and a Lightning Bolt. So the Lightning Bolt can't be cast right now because John was leading with Island, presumably because he wants to cast a turn 2 Meddling Mage, and he still will have that option since the Mesmeric Fiend takes a Lightning Bolt. So what if... I guess if the Lightning Bolt is protecting... Because if you just take Meddling Mage and he needs to use a Lightning Bolt on Mesmeric Fiend, then isn't that like a better tempo play? Because here the Meddling Mage comes down and now the Mesmeric Fiend doesn't really do anything. If he did it, if he just took the Meddling Mage and John has to play Mountain and Lightning Bolt, then at least you get the Bolt out of his hand forever, and then the Meddling Mage comes down a turn later. I don't know if I like taking the Lightning Bolt there.
What are you naming here? Like Grim Lavamancer or?
I mean, I feel like it's something like Hypnotic Spectre, but I guess you have the Lightning Angel that could potentially block it. Cause, I mean, given the way that Jared's like picked the Bolt, I feel like he's thinking about Hypnotic Spectre.
He did name Spectre.
Okay. So Jared draws an extra card thanks to the Phyrexian Arena. He does have a Mishra's Factory in play. I guess that'll hold off the Meddling Mage. Oh, and Jared doesn't hit a third land. So even with those extra draws from the Arena, Jared's having some mana issues this match so far. Well, John has all the basics that he needs. Even if Jared had Wasteland in his deck, it wouldn't be a problem this game. Mana should not be an issue for John, while Jared has now found his third land on his 4th turn.
Yeah, he's just drawn so many cards from Arena. I mean, it's John's not in a good position with that Arena. The more turns that Arena stays in play.
Well, I mean, if Lightning Angel is coming down and Jared doesn't have a way to answer it, like Jared's life total is pressured, and the Lightning Angel does a good job of protecting John's life total because like there's Terminates, but Lightning Bolt's not very good against the Lightning Angel. So I kind of like John in this position. I guess the worry is that the combo might get there, but I guess John's still at 20. I don't know. I think I would pick John from this spot. Like, I think this Lightning Angel that's coming down is going to be very problematic.
That
Right?
is
Miss
two
it?
Terminates main,
I think so.
2 Masticores.
I don't think Massacre lines up against Lightning Angel very well. I guess it maybe can race it. I guess
Can attack, yeah.
that's but I don't think you're getting the mana to shoot it down anytime soon.
There's Terminate.
All right. Well, that is definitely something that Jared needed, I think, as he is at 12 life. Still with that arena in play, so now the cards still will be flowing. And if John's just saying go, okay, now this position I think for Jared is much better with that angel off the board. Right. Jared taps and untaps his mana. It looks like he's gonna reconsider things. I don't know how many. So John has a mountain and some number of unknown cards in his hand. I wonder when Jared starts. He's got to have like an Insidious Dreams, right? All right, Mesmeric Fiend, gonna see what's up. Yeah, Jared will just, or John will just memory lapse. I guess that's better. Oh, he looks like he kind of tipped his hand. I didn't exactly see what was in it, but yeah, the Mesmeric Fiend is at the top of the library.
All right, we're in erratic explosion range.
Yeah, that is a key. Like anything below 6, I think below 17, I guess 16 or below, is very important because of the erratic explosion Draco combo. And I guess if you've seen 2 memory lapses, does that like give you? Are you feeling a little more? Are you willing to risk an Insidious Dreams?
You're definitely feeling pretty good about your position, especially when the only follow-up is Mother of Runes.
Yeah. I guess what would the other card be in John's hand? I mean,
Another
like
land?
Fire Ice. Well, Fire Ice would get played. What cards would not get cast? It's like land. I think that's really it.
Yeah.
Oh, Predict is another card you could have. Okay. I guess I did forget about Predict. I was thinking Memory Lapse was the only card that interacted with Insidious Dreams, but Predict is another card that could. So if John had a card like Predict, do you think is that a card you would save or would you just cycle it?
I might save it, force Jared to discard 3 cards.
I mean, I certainly with the Mesmeric Fiend on top, I would be very tempted to use it and draw 2. But I can see conservative line of just not wanting to die to Insidious Dreams, given how many cards that Jared's drawn. We do see a Hypnotic Spectre joining the party, so I think Lightning Angel is probably something that John really needs. Otherwise, he can't do that much.
Man, he's drawn so many cards off that arena.
Though, I mean, like, if the Lightning Angel were in play, he would be dead. Like, there would have been 3 attacks from the Angel, so. Swords of Plowshares, okay. That'll take out Hypnotic Spectre, I believe.
Take out the Fiend.
Oh, okay.
Get the bolt.
Oh, sure.
And then bolt the Spectre.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's land.
A Gemstone Mine.
No attacks. I wonder what he's going to do.
I guess, yeah. Important targets himself. I guess I would. I guess if you're worried about Memory Lapse or Predict, you can't really play around it in this game too. If you're casting this, you're just assuming I guess the one thing that could complicate things is if Jared did draw the Draco, then he would need to discard it and go find full rest stronghold, but it looks like that's not the case. 3 cards are discarded. So I guess you need to discard 3 in this case because there's a Fireworks Arena in play because you're going to draw 2. I think Jared is likely to just go for the combo kill, but is there any merit to just like put 3 bolts on top of your deck?
It's probably the safest way to do it, right? Like John's at 10 or Jared's at 10?
Jared's
Jared's
at 10, John is at 12. So John is going to draw.
I think he's going to go for it.
You think he's going for the combo kill? I bet because it basically was memory lapse or predict within the top 3 cards. John did keep as his cat tries to jump on and give some moral support.
Yeah, he's probably just going to be a bolt, an erratic explosion, and then a Draco.
So how do you how might you feel about your cat like walking on your magic cards? But how do you feel about your cat walking on your guru lands? Probably a little more conscious.
Probably
about
not
those
the
things.
first time.
So. All right, we will see if we will have some fireworks. Will erratic explosion show up? Can we just call Jared a coward if he doesn't erratic explosion here?
Yeah.
I would not fault him, but just for showman's sake, I'm going to call him a coward. I mean, if he's thinking, right, then like...
So he's going to draw for his arena, and now he's going to predict. John's going to predict and say erratic explosion right now.
Oh, okay. Ooh, there was a duress. So that means, I guess that could mean that but here's the problem is, if erratic explosion were already in Jared's hand, and he was putting the duress there to draw, now he's likely he's going
to draw the Draco.
Draw the Draco. So like, in essence, it's still as effective, even though John didn't get the right card. So
yeah.
Do we have the chance of Draco getting summoned? So it would cost 12 mana. All right, never mind. Lightning Angel is the card in John's hand. That is a good one.
Jared did discard his other Terminate to cast Insidious Dreams, so he doesn't have any other answers in terms of spot removal unless he has 2 bolts.
This is kind of awkward.
John is just going to say, all right, I'm definitely going to play this.
And he's going to attack. Okay, so he blocks and has a bolt. So I think that's probably the best case scenario for Jared. Get 2 for running himself, but getting the Angel off the board. Especially with Arena in play. That keeping his life total and keeping the game going. Yep. So that was very, very key. And here the Mistress Factory gets a chip in, so... All right. John is down 2 Lightning Angels, right?
Yep.
Pretty much John needs a Factor Fiction, I think.
Is John running Factor Fiction?
Oh, it's not. They just have the predict engine.
No,
so
there's no Factor Fiction in his list.
All right.
That's why this deck is just so tight. A card like Arena just tilts it so much in Jared's favor.
Yeah. My Yon count has gone +1. Can you look at John's list real quick? See if he has any basics left in his deck.
He might have 1 island left and 1 plains. But
I think he has 1 plains, but I'm not sure. Because that might...
he's got 1 plains left.
Okay, that might come in. I guess the only fetch land is the blue-white one, so... Alright, Jared's at 6. Mesmeric Fiend. Showing a battlefield force. Lots of lands, lots of lands. God. As John falls to 6. Now we're... Is Lightning Angel or multiple bolts? Well, a Hypnotic Spectre was added too, so Meddling Mage, what do you name?
Exalted Angel.
What? What are you
I
naming
don't
your own
know.
card? Masticore? I don't know.
Probably.
I mean, Jared also. So wait, if John can stay alive for 2 turns, then him drawing a bolt. But right now he cannot stay alive for 2 turns because he would block the Mishra's Factory and take 3 and go to 3. But if John can stall out the game, so a card like Fire Ice, like if he's icing something down. Oh, I do not like that. I think this is a mistake. If Jared, oh, I guess yeah. Why didn't he attack with a mesmeric fiend? This
John has to discard the line. Okay, there he goes.
oh, this, ooh, we just have
Blind.
an erratic explosion.
Oh, it's a land.
Yeah, it keeps going. Insidious Dreams. That's 4 damage. He hit he hit the card he
Oh
needed.
my
Okay,
gosh.
he had a bolt in hand to finish it off. But okay,
Woo.
all right. So an exciting way to finish a game. Erratic explosion is the thing that sealed the deal, but maybe not the typical card that it reveals.
No.
All right, we are going into game 3, so that means we have sideboarding. So I'll bring up John's deck, and we can talk about what we think's coming in. All right. I don't think a null. I'd have to look at the sideboard out of Jared, but Masticore and
That's
Phyrexian
3
Arena.
rounds.
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, that was audible enough that I think it probably counts. A lot of times I do end up yawning when we're on the screens where my face isn't showing, but yeah, that one probably does count. Jared won that game. So I expect these blue blasts to come in. Do you bring in a card like Pyroclasm? Because it.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think Jared's going to bring in his. No, he won't bring in negators against John. So let's see. It kills specters. It kills lavamancers. It kills fiends. It kills every creature in Jared's deck except for Masticore. So maybe.
Yeah, but what card are you taking out? Like, I feel like you're taking out like a removal spell. Are you taking out Mother of Ruins? I don't. Mother of Ruins seems okay. I don't know. Like, if you get Mother of Ruins online, is it good? I don't know.
In this matchup, I don't know. This is not one I ever had to play. So what is he? He's absolutely bringing in his blasts,
Yeah,
right, and his disenchant.
there's 2 disenchants in the main. I don't think you need to. I don't think you
I think
need to
it's.
bring in the disenchant. I don't. But
I think I want to. I want another disenchant effect against Arena. I mean, it's just the game is so hard to win. If Jared gets Arena on online, I think it's worth bringing in a disenchant
sure.
on the and especially on the play. I think if he's on the draw, then a null is better.
So we talked about
Um,
Pyroclasm. Is Slice and Dice ever a card? Like, if it can kill Lavamancers and Mesmeric Fiends and get your card back? I think it's probably worse than Pyroclasm, though. I mean, it does
it
some.
doesn't kill specters,
Right. I've
and it
moved.
doesn't kill factories either.
Yeah, well, I don't think Pyroclasm.
I know that
does-
Pyroclasm doesn't either, but I'm just saying there's no incremental advantage where factory or where Pyroclasm misses out.
Ownerator, we have not figured out exactly when we're going to stream the finals because we are going to do best of 3 matches. So there potentially are 9 games that are going to be played. And I think one of our finalists had alluded that his schedule is something that we need to discuss. So it's still up in the air, but we are aiming at 9 p.m. Eastern.
So we didn't talk about dystopia yet, right? But that's another thing that I think John may want to be able to answer. It's not as backbreaking, but it does kill every creature in his deck.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's another reason to bring in another disenchant. But Jared, I think Jared brings in the blasts, obviously, for sure. And then probably the dystopias.
Yep. What cards are you shaving? Are you trimming the combo? I think the combo's okay. I don't know. Maybe you can shave like an Insidious Dreams or two, maybe, but I, I, I mean, it seems like it's an easy cut, but cut Masticore. I mean, the one thing I do like about Masticore is it needs to be answered with Swords to Plowshares. Like the bolts and the fire ices aren't as good against it. So if the removal that John has played that the Masticore uh, is a more effective at attacking. Yeah,
You could cut two Masticores and 3 Dreams, so that your combo's like not completely dead.
I don't. I feel like I just like a 4-mana 4/4. I don't know.
I think it's pretty hard for John to answer if it hits the table. Like Swords is really the only card that he has that gets rid of it, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I like Masticore, but
But it turns on the disenchants too. I don't know.
I don't like
I don't
Grim
know.
Lavamancer as much. I think I would cut that card, but I don't know. I guess it takes out
Okay.
Meddling Mage. That's the only thing I'm excited. And like maybe it allows your Hypnotic Spectre to trade for an activation. But the times we've seen it, you don't always have a million cards in the graveyard to keep it going. So it looks like the players are still shuffling up a bit. So I'll jump over to our get to know the player screen, but I'll Flint, you can interrupt me at any time once we get ready. We were on Mishra's Bauble is the card that Aaron Dix would add, and I think that's kind of playing off his love for the Urza's Bauble in the Premodern format in his Sligh deck. I think Jared might be texting asking if they can start.
Yep, they're gonna start.
All right, we'll jump back down to the match. All right, so John's gonna kick things off with a Flooded Strand. He's gonna go get a plane. So is this a Mother of Runes? Yes, it is. So the mothers have stayed in, and we'll see how effective. Oh, we will not see how effective the Mother of Runes is. It is effective at drawing a lightning bolt. All right, Reflecting Pool is the land from John. So I mean that's got to mean that he doesn't have a blue source. And yeah. Okay. So a Mesmeric Fiend reveals Pyroclasm, Meddling Mage, Fire Ice, and Portent. So John is at the mercy of his deck. So I would be looking to take. It might depend on Jared's hand, but if you're susceptible to Pyroclasm, do you take the Fire Ice to make him use the Pyroclasm? Because otherwise. Okay, he takes Meddling Mage. Alright. And City of Brass is drawn, so the mana is now online for John. So a very timely City of Brass. And Portent is what we'll be using. Okay. Portent targeting John. So we had a choice. He could have targeted Jared. Jared says bolt your mom is not the same as funny as plow your mom. Actually he said boot your mom, but which is kind of funny, but but yeah.
That is kind of funny actually.
But yeah, bolt your mom. All right, Jared chipping away with his Mesmeric Fiend, and he has Phyrexian Arena. We did see it be very effective in the last game. Yep. Will it stick? That's the question. Is John thinking about this? I mean, if you have Memory Lapse, it seems like you just need to cast it, right?
He may have taken Memory Lapse out.
Well, I guess what is the pause for? Oh, whether he wants to. So he's bolting Jared. Does he have? Is there a Lightning Angel that's coming? No, but there's not enough mana yet. That seems like a very aggressive Lightning Bolt.
So John's thinking here.
I'm trying to understand that Lightning Bolt. If it, like, why does John feel the need to bolt Jared right there?
I don't know.
I mean, I do see that he is like constricted on his mana, but the game is probably going for a number of turns. We just had a raid from Rich Bork. Thank you. Welcome everybody.
Thanks, Rich.
We are doing our second semifinals match for the Premodern Showdown series. We are playing a best of 5, so there still will be at least 2 games. And Ownernator, thank you for the follow. Welcome. All right, Jared casting 4 mana. So this is a Masticore. Nasty Masty in the house. So a Meddling Mage came down from John. Did he message us what he had named?
He did not.
But we do see the Masticore, which is nice that Jared has the Phyrexian Arena in play, so doesn't really have to worry about falling behind maintaining the upkeep cost of this Masticore. Right, life totals are changing quickly. Jared goes to 13. So, is Arena at your upkeep or Arena at your draw step?
Upkeep.
Okay, so they're both upkeep triggers. All right. I was thinking that maybe it was not. All right, Jared gets attack. So this ice is going to tap down a Masticore. That will cycle. So John, what does John need to find? He needs a Lightning Angel. I feel like that's part of his plan. The Meddling Mage gets bolted. And now John is still stuck on his 3 mana. So Jared's going to go to 12, but with this attack, he's discarding an Engineered Plague. Engineered Plague. That was not a card I expected.
Interesting. Yeah, neither did I.
Though we did see, who was that match against? We did see Engineered Plague against Lightning Angel, and it did.
Oh yeah,
that
we
was
saw like 2 plagues, right?
That was
Ben?
with Ben, yeah.
Yeah.
But there was also a Sphere of Law, so. All right.
It's tough. I mean, if Jared's got his blasts, he can counter a Lightning Angel with a blast, right?
Yes. John will. He's able to resolve a Lightning Angel. Oh, there is a Pyroblast. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Lightning Angel goes down. Do you let the Lightning Angel resolve and then kill it, or do you just counter it?
I think he's just going to be mana efficient. Just counter it.
Well, I mean, it would be the same. I'm just saying psychologically.
Oh, in the same turn.
Yeah, psychologically, you just let it resolve and then let him attack and then not take it out. But
yeah.
All right, so the Massacre's finally getting in after the ices have been deployed. So John is at 9. I guess Jared's at 10. Duress is being cast. John will discard Predict. Is that better than taking Fireclasm? All right, so John is portenting, and
He's gonna scoop.
he's gonna pack it up. All right, so Jared was just, I mean, again, that game was all about Ferox Arena, I think. So able to outcard the tempo deck. I mean, and the other key thing is being able to answer Lightning Angel. I think those games all can go south for Jared if the Lightning Angel stays on the battlefield. So I think those are the two keys that, like, if Jared sticks a Phyrexian Arena and then also is able to answer any Lightning Angels.
Yeah, I think John may bring in the annuls in this game.
All right, I'll go back to the slide. I'm going to try and see if I can finish this.
All right, I'll let them know they can start whenever they're ready.
Yeah. So for Aaron, his favorite movie is Happy Gilmore. I have not watched that one in a really long time.
It's been a long time.
I know I definitely enjoyed it then. I don't know if I would enjoy it as much anymore. I don't know. I would pick. I feel like I would pick Happy Gilmore's good. All right. I think I would enjoy it still. I was to say that it hasn't aged well, but I think it's aged fine. Favorite video game is Portal 2. I think we must have talked about this like last season because Aaron was also on the PSS2. You're a big fan of this game, right?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yep. Yeah, I still have not played the series of Portal or Portal 2. So, favorite restaurant, he says the New Mecca Cafe in Pittsburgh. There's a Pittsburgh, California. Did I write that wrong?
I don't know.
Let me. I'm going back to my notes. It does say Pittsburgh, California. All right. I didn't make a mistake there. Not familiar with Pittsburgh, California. Favorite ice cream flavor, he says any combination of chocolate, brownie, fudge, or peanut butter. All right. So he's likes the rich flavors, I guess. All right, we have Ben Pelsiger. His profession is an engineering director. And his favorite Magic artist is none other than Mark Rosewater. Can you name the card that Mark Rosewater illustrated?
Look at me on the DCI.
Yes, it is a fantastic piece of work.
Mm-hmm.
Which card do you wish was legal in Premodern? Ben went with Booster Tutor. Have you ever cast a Booster Tutor?
I have cast a Booster Tutor in my unglued, unhinged cube.
Did you open a real pack or did you do like a cube pack?
I opened a pack of Innistrad.
Okay. Do you remember what you got?
What did I? I think I got what's the green card that lets you create a 1/2 spider?
Spider spawning.
Yeah, spider spawning. I'm pretty sure that's the card that I got.
Sweet. In our game update, I think Jared is mulliganing, so don't worry, we're not missing any magic. Ben said his favorite movie is Indiana Jones. I feel like you need to specify which one. I'm going to assume it's not
too broad.
Not Crystal Skull. I'm assuming not that one. But of the original three, which is the best one? Do you have a favorite?
I think my favorite of the Indiana Jones films is probably The Last Crusade.
I think that was probably mine too.
I really like Sean Connery in his role.
Jared's sending it back again, so another mulligan from him. Favorite restaurant, he says the Park West Diner. He says menu like a phone book. So I have heard that good restaurants have small menus. Is that something you've heard as well, Flint?
I think that's kind of the general rule.
So I guess
I would imagine perhaps there are exceptions, and maybe this is it.
Yep. Ben likes the variety, I guess. So his favorite ice cream flavor. Oh, I forgot the favorite video game. Oh, he didn't fill it out, so I got to choose. I'm guessing not many of you have heard of this video game, but Return of the Dinosaurs was a game I used to play when I was little on my, I don't know if it was an Apple or a PC or whatnot, but it's a very, very old game from like 1988. Yeah, it was fun when I was like 5 or 6 years old. So that's Ben's favorite game. And his favorite ice cream flavor, I said Tutti Frutti.
Tutti Frutti. Oh my goodness.
The reason that was picked was because I Googled what are the worst.
It's like we're starting.
Worst ice cream flavors, and that was one I saw. So that's what you get, Ben, for not answering all the questions.
Take that, Ben.
Yeah. All right. John starts with a portent. Portenting targeting John.
All right.
Will we get a portent targeting Jared tonight?
Probably not.
I
but
mean,
you
there
never
are
know.
situations of like when you have board control and you're just trying to deny like Jared of one thing, like of a removal spell or something. Like that, there are definitely situations where that would come up, but Flint's money is unknown.
All right.
All right,
John leaving some mana open.
Jared does not crack his land, so that indicates that he wants to draw more mana. And if he's thinking right now, he might. Okay, he's got a land, got a second land, but there's no spell. Predict. Oh. Jared will respond.
Is he gonna blast the predict? Yeah.
Oh, I guess. I mean, if you're targeting, John knows what his top card is, like because of Portent. So that is worth 2 cards. So that makes a lot more sense than I initially thought. We got a message from Homeburger. I'll read it. Interesting question. What makes a good restaurant? An opinionated kitchen staff with the skills to back it up, resulting in a short menu, or a place with a versatile enough kitchen where you can get anything you want, resulting in a massive menu? Yeah, I guess usually the idea of like the small menu is that there are just favorite items, I guess, that your restaurant does really well, and you don't need other things. But I can see it both ways. Also, like different audiences might prefer a wider menu. People who might have more specific tastes might want certain things. All right, we got a meddling mage. What are you naming here?
Naming bolt. He named bolt.
So it is a little bit awkward because John does have lightning bolt in his deck, but I do understand naming that. Okay, so this meddling mage is connecting. This is probably the opportunity for it to attack because the Mistress Factory had just come down.
And we know Jared was a little short on lands anyway. It looks like he draws another one, so he's probably more keen to block now. I think if meddling mage decides it wants to come back over.
Yeah. Well, now it would, in theory, just eat the meddling mage.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess Swords to Plowshares or Fire Ice are still cards that could open up opportunities for Jared to lose his land. I'm guessing this is Fire Ice. Nope, a Swords to Plowshares. Okay. Jared will go. He should gain 3 life if he tapped it. It was up to. Did Jared not gain 3? Did I miss a point of damage? Oh, he fetched. No, he's going to 16. Did he not tap his Mistress Factory in response to the?
No.
I guess.
He didn't.
Yeah, I don't. That seems like something that Jared should do. I mean, he plays enough old school that that's got to come up all the time. All right.
So John representing a null or a blast here.
It doesn't need it as Jared doesn't do anything. So are there ever worlds? I guess it's hard to introduce dreams when you've mulliganed to like 800 or 800 times. Terminate is taking out or trying to take out this meddling mage, but a blue elemental blast says no. So this meddling mage is going to continue chipping along. So we have Jared who mulliganed a bunch and has 5 lands in play and like 1 card in hand, versus John who has a bunch of cards in hand and only 2 lands. Who do you like from this situation?
Man, I still like John.
I think John's pretty far ahead here. Like
Yeah.
he has a clock in play, and like as soon as the cards in his hand, like I mean, they can't all be lightning angels. I mean, they could. And
Yeah, I
I
mean, if
guess
they're all like angels, then he's in trouble.
if they're
but-
all angels and lightning bolts, then maybe that's like kind of awkward. But I mean, if they're cards like Fire Ice or Memory Lapse, like those are all like good cards against Jared in this spot. Like Memory Lapse is really good here. Like if Jared isn't doing anything and he's drawing off the top every turn, like Memory Lapse is just a time walk. So, yeah, I like John to win this game. Fire Ice. Is this in the damage mode or is this in
Yep.
the?
Fire in his face.
All right, so you fired Jared, and he's just going aggressive. Jared's down to 7. What is in Jared's hand? Well, how many cards would Jared not be casting?
I don't know. I've actually won a couple games going the distance like this with Meddling Mage.
Are they just lightning bolts? That would be the card that, like, if you can't cast it because of meddling mage, that you wouldn't be casting.
It's getting dangerous for Jared too, right? Like the Meddling Mage could be keeping, slowing the clock down a little bit. Factory's good.
Yeah. Would you? I would just trade it right away, right? Like, I think
Yeah.
I would not try and. There's enough burn in John's deck that, like, going to 3 seems bad.
Yeah, I would
Wait.
block.
Okay. I do like this exchange. There's a disenchant, though. So.
John's gonna take a point. Okay. Now he's in a tough spot because obviously if that Meddling Mage dies, it opens up 4 cards for John. I don't think there's a bolt in John's graveyard, right?
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant, like, he had 4 in his hand. I'm like, how do you know there's 4 in his hand?
Yeah. Fistful of bolts.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see a game 5 here.
I feel like Jared's
folks.
going to show a hand of a bunch of bolts, but I don't know. I don't know what else he'd be keeping other than Dracos or. All right, we got a Hypnotic Spectre, which is going to be on blocking duty if it even gets a chance to.
He's gonna turn that sideways so quickly.
All right, is this unlocking a bolt that John has? Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. All right.
Oh,
wow,
this is lands and
Dark Rituals
rituals.
lands.
All right, that's
Cool.
what Jared drew. So after a mulligan to 5 and then just drawing a bunch of mana, that's going to be difficult to pull out in a game. So
What a game.
we're going to a game 5. All right.
Awesome.
I guess while they're shuffling, I get to go back to my nonsense. So here we go. Hope everyone's enjoying this. All right, Return of the Dinosaurs. I didn't talk enough about this. It's like this. I don't even remember exactly the plot, but like, it's not very. I don't know. I think it was like semi-educational, but there were a bunch of like questions about dinosaurs. I think he just had to answer or something. But for some reason, I found it fun. I loved dinosaurs when I was little. I mean, I think doesn't every little boy love dinosaurs when they're little? So I just remember it. But that's funny enough. That's Ben's favorite game. I guess I didn't put the asterisk note of the ones in the asterisks in yellow were answered by me and not Ben. So I guess it's just fact now. They're Ben's favorite game.
It's canon.
Let's get to know Brian. So, I didn't update this one. Or did I put the wrong slide in here? Hold on.
Yeah, that's the old one.
Yes, let's get rid of this. Add a file. Get to know Brian. I didn't save it. Oh, maybe I didn't do it. All right. Well, sorry, Brian. You'll remain a mystery.
Sorry.
We'll go to Ron. So, Ron is in law enforcement. I know he's in the Florida area. I think it's Parrish, I believe, is the city he listed. And his favorite artist is Ron Spencer. Probably because he has a great name. I think that's probably the reason that Ron picked it. But I do like Ron Spencer. What is your favorite Ron Spencer art, or what comes to mind when you think of Ron Spencer?
Yagmoth Well.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
That's a key one.
I was thinking of Order or What is the Fallen Empires one?
Order of the Ebon Hand.
Yeah, that's the Fallen Empires one, right? Yeah. Or I was thinking of Skittering Scourge. He wishes Show and Tell were legal in pre-modern, and I think of cards to be unbanned, that could be a card that actually could be. I think, not that we want to get into this big discussion, but I think part of the reason it was on the ban list was because of Yawgmoth's Bargain, which has since been banned, and I think you could make a reasonable argument that that card could be unbanned. Favorite movie is Edward Scissorhands. I saw that movie when I was little. I didn't like it when I was little, but I didn't understand it really. What do you think about it?
Good flick.
I just
I'm a big
remember
fan.
the scene where he pokes the waterbed and then like puts a stuffed animal over it, and I just thought that was the funniest thing when I was little. I don't know.
I really like it. It makes me very sad though when I watch it.
John is sending back his hand, so looks like it's John's turn to mulligan for this final game 5. But back to Ron. Favorite video game? He said the Fallout series. I think
But Fallout 3 is amazing.
Okay.
I love Fallout 3. I mean, I played the originals 1 and 2. They were good, but I love Fallout 3. I think it's my favorite.
I haven't played them. I feel bad. I know less about the Fallout series, so
We back for this one.
We have Milk Crate join the chat. Hello, Milk Crate. Hope you're enjoying things. We have a final semifinals game that is going to decide who is going to go to the finals of our Premodern Showdown series. So it'll either be John or Jared as soon as they finish shuffling. Yeah, you can tell a joke if you want. So Ron's favorite restaurant, he says, a good BBQ joint. So what is more funny, a plains or a mountain? Is something going to crack you up? That's what I'm thinking.
The plains jokes fall flat. I don't know.
A mountain. It's hilarious.
All right.
All right. I like it.
Welcome.
I like
Big
it.
Splash. Very nice.
A good mountain joke. I liked it. A good BBQ joint is so places that are known for barbecue: Kansas City, Texas, and
Oh, looks like we're starting.
and Magic. All right.
And Magic.
Swamp Go is the play from Jared. So if John gets a plains, that probably means Mother of Runes. If he gets an island, that probably means Portent.
Or Blast.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to fetch it right away if it were so
Right.
Mother of Runes. Will we see the Mother stay in play? That is the question. No. Lightning Bolt.
Here's not.
Off a Tainted Peak. Indeed. All right. Mother's getting bolted. Lightning strikes twice, apparently. Your mom got struck by lightning twice.
There's the mage. What are you naming here, Mike?
Hypnotic Spectre? I guess it depends if you have an answer to it, but like that's the first time. Like,
Ritual?
I wouldn't name Dark Ritual because
Arena.
Okay, that makes sense. But we do have Hypnotic Spectre. I'm guessing that John. I mean, if he doesn't have an answer, I could still see naming Arena, but it's likely that he has a plow, a bolt, a fire ice, or eventually just is hoping to cast Lightning Angel. So. Bolt is cast. Jared went to the life totals. I thought, I'm like, is John going to the face again? That'd definitely be aggressive. But yeah,
I thought that for a second.
Just adjusting the life total because John has to take a damage with the City of Brass. So,
Ooh, duress. 2 Lightning Angels. Ready? Ooh,
a Blue Blast and a Plow.
pretty good.
This is so. I think. Okay. I guess it depends a lot on your hand. Whether which one is more important. I guess if you're
Got a
planning,
Masticore.
or if you're just planning on attacking with these lands, then you want to get rid of the Plow. So. Yeah, I guess John with the two factories, then he doesn't really have the option of even like holding back the meddling mage to trade with an attacking one because the other one can just sit back and pump. So in the meantime, Hypnotic Spectre's coming down, so Jared will take a turn off of attacking, but being able to cast a Hypnotic Spectre is pretty good if it can stay in play. Though a lot of the cards off the top of John's deck could answer, like Plows, Bolts, Fire, Ice, Lightning, Angels are all good cards to answer the Hypnotic Spectre off the top. Cards like Portent and Memory Lapse and Blue Blast are like a little bit more awkward. So who do you like from this position? So John held back.
Jared's just got so many cards left in his hand.
So because at that point, John could have offered the trade between Meddling Mage and Hypnotic Spectre, right? Because there was only a Mishra's Factory untapped. And he chose not to. I guess maybe you're worried about just racing with the Mishra's Factory, but I don't know what this Meddling Mage is doing, though.
Yeah, Jared, hell of a night tonight for full-on battles. Yeah, agreed. These guys are going the distance.
So John's already at 11. We know he has a Blue Blast, and then he just needs to draw off the top. So, I mean, he certainly, like I said, he certainly does have a lot of decent draws. Is this an Angel?
Yeah, Jared's got. He just immediately grabs his hand though. He's got to have a blast, right?
There's a Terminate. Okay. Yep. And yeah. I mean, John. There's no way John can like set up a situation because if he just doesn't cast the Angel, he's either losing the Blue Blast or losing the Angel. So he can't wait to draw a land. So
yeah.
Jared will take out the Duress, and well, I don't think he needed to do that. I think because it was his only card in hand.
Yeah.
But all right, Mishra's Factory and Hypnotic Spectre will come in.
John's at 4. This might be all she wrote. One draw. Yeah, scooping him up.
John is taken down. Jared's able to, yeah. So, yeah, that was a tight match, a lot of back and forth, and Jared's able to end up on top. So the Draco Blast in the hands of Jared is able to take down John in his Star Spangled Slaughter deck. So the players are going to de-sideboard. We will jump down to listen to the players to see what they are talking about, maybe get some insight on their match and whatnot.
Probably unmute them.
Oh yeah. Hello there.
Hello.
Good games, guys.
Jared with that. You just slammed that Duress. Really needed that Duress there.
I'm totally wasted. I don't know. I just went on autopilot. I was like, get this. Get rid of that thing. Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, so I guess this matchup was played in the Super Gauntlet, but I guess I was talking about Insidious Dreams in game 1. Like, are you afraid of it at all, John, in like games 1 and 2? Because my thought was it's hard to like at some point I feel like you need to like tap out for a Lightning Angel, and you only have 22 lands in your deck, so like you're not always going to be able to play Lightning Angel and have 2 mana up. So I felt like there were going to be opportunities that Jared might be able to resolve Insidious Dreams.
And
I was a little concerned about it.
Okay.
And I did resolve it. It's just unfortunately he had the the predict off of the whatchamacallit.
Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about that play. So I'm guessing you had a Red Explosion in your hand at that point. Is that correct, Jared?
I did, yes.
Okay. So what were your considerations of how to fit the piles? Because I guess there's not really any way that you can play around predict in that spot.
No, there isn't. I mean,
Okay.
no, there isn't, because
Well-
either way, it puts the card in the yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if it left the card on top, if he was wrong, it'd be fine. But unfortunately, like, the fact that it mills the card, it just makes it go away, and then it screws up the way that my ordering is.
Well, did you have the? I thought you said you had the explosion in hand already.
I did have the explosion in my hand already.
Then all you do is put a bunch of lands on top of your library and put the Draco underneath them.
No,
Well,
'cause
I did. It was my last card, but then when you forced me to draw the Draco. When you
Oh, off of your
predicted,
draw step.
Yeah. Because he had an arena in play, so he was drawing.
Yeah.
He was drawing 2 cards.
Oh, you need to do one more.
Right.
You need to discard one more to the Insidious streams.
Yeah.
But that's only a
Right,
good play
exactly.
if predict is what you have.
Well, you could
No, no,
put
it's
you could
fine
put a
anyway.
land you could put a land on top of the Draco so that you would,
Yeah.
if it resolved, you would hit the it would because you go until you hit a non-land spell.
Right, exactly.
So,
That'd be the way to do it.
Yeah.
I think when I did that, I was that game. I was kind of like living large. I had Arena going nuts, and I
Yeah.
had like 7 cards in hands. I was like, even if this gets screwed up, I'm probably still gonna win. But you're right. If I'd done it for 4 cards, then I do that. What you said, assuming that the predict is the card. But if I put the land, then it goes through it anyway. So that makes sense.
yeah, the other thing I was thinking, like John was at like 10 or 11, if you just put like 3 bolts on top of your deck and just try and like go that way. That was the other thing I was considering, but
That makes sense too.
I think the 4 plan is probably the best way to do it. So
Yeah, I didn't think of that one, but like, I can't say I've played against predict very often
Sure.
in this matchup. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's not I have played against Stifle, and that screwed me up once, and I wasn't expecting it either. So like they stifled my arena trigger when I had it out, and so like I was like, oh, so now I just like it was too far down or something like that. You know what I mean?
You had to wait
Like,
another turn, yeah.
But then I ended up drawing it because
Oh,
the
you
arena's
had
still
you
over
had
there.
okay.
Right. So that's one thing that's happened to me previously. But I knew that like Arena is definitely my best card against him if it resolves, because it's just the best card advantage in the matchup. I mean, even if he does predict for 2, that's a one shot. Whereas I got 8 cards in that game 2 off of it, and the same thing with like game 3, I think. So it was just if that resolves and hangs out for a while, it's just I bury him, because all his is just 1-for-1 stuff for the most part. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I just I guess I could have ran back the Goblin. I knew he was going to be on the Star Spangled Slaughter and McAngel Face solution for Angel's deck. So because when we came down to the matchups, and especially the bannings, I played the Draco versus Elves matchup, and it's hugely in favor even without plagues. I just have such good removal, and I can just go over the top with the combo, against the elves. So I knew he wasn't going to bring that. And if it was elves goblins, that was a 50-50 matchup for the most part, and I figured the deck he chose definitely gave him the best in both matchups. And in the regular season, so to speak, he beat me against the goblins. So I just figured I'd switch it up.
Okay.
You could have switched it up for me if you really wanted to.
I did. Well, because here's the thing: the only deck I had that would have been good against the Prison Oath deck would have been the Terrageddon deck, which of course you banned smartly. It's just because that's the only matchup that deck is actually really, really good in. So,
yeah.
And I didn't want to play that deck again. I've lost twice with it, and I just don't have confidence in it the way I do the other 2 decks.
So, I mean, can the Draco Blast beat that deck? If you just don't play creatures and you just try and like burn them out, because you can't really do that much about the combo, right?
No, I mean he could lock me out.
Yeah, I mean you might not be able to cast those cards. Like 3-mana sorcery is maybe too much against that deck.
Well, 4 mana. Then is there any Winter Orbs in that deck? And there's also Sphere resistance, so I'm going to need like a lot of mana.
Yeah, there's spheres, but
they're very hard
to
do.
Yeah.
Post board, I probably have a chance. I mean, with dystopias and are pretty decent, but like I want to be able to get some creatures in to disrupt. And if like he just slams an Oath, then it's like, okay, well, unless I have running terminates and then it just then it's probably not going to be enough. So that's what I was thinking.
John, was your reasoning pretty much the same this time around? I remember last time you were like, Elves is terrible in this matchup, and the red, white, and blue deck really gives me the best sort of opportunities. And I think it was pretty straightforward for you last time as well.
Yeah, I mean, Elves is bad in the Draco matchup, and I think it's probably not favored in the Goblins matchup. So, pretty easy.
Yeah. And I didn't see what you boarded. Did you bring the annuls in?
Yeah, I did in after the first sideboarded game.
When you were on the draw?
I just thought I should have brought them in the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah. The arena is just so backbreaking in terms of card advantage. Like everything is so tight with the red, white, and blue deck. If the opponent starts
Yep.
to get hit on cards, it makes it really, really hard to win.
Yeah, I mean, there's other targets as well, like the Masticore, and I think you brought in the Engineered Plagues, which I saw in Game 3.
I brought in the Engineered Plague just because I took out the combo going into the sideboard games, just because I knew against Memory Lapse and against Predicts, it's really bad. And you had the Blue Blast again. So it's just, it was not going to resolve in a good way. So I just didn't think it was worth it. So I was like, I need to take out 6 cards. So I knew I had 2 Dystopias and 3 Blasts to bring in. So Plague was like the next one, because I'm not bringing in Negator against Bolts and Fire Ices. That just seems awful.
Yep.
And then I'm not bringing in Overload does nothing. So it was really just like the last option, and I could put it on humans just to get rid of moms or something like that. To make those Meddling Mages smaller. That's about it.
Gotcha.
John, I do have a question. There was one game, it was pretty early in the game. I think you were a little bit tight on mana, but you pointed a bolt at Jared's head like really early. Like I think you might have been at 20. And can you explain like what the, like, I'm not saying it was wrong, but I guess I was just surprised that you were using the bolt that early at Jared's head. Do you remember that?
So
that
I was
line?
stuck on lands,
Mhm.
and I wasn't sure when I'd be drawing more lands, so I needed to make sure I didn't want to discard cards.
Okay.
And I might have been an aggressive hand as well, I believe.
Right.
I think you also, I had a Fiend in play that I think took a mage from you. Because I think that was that the game that he also had the Fire and Ice and the Pyroclasts in his hand?
It was
had
not
other
that.
answers,
I don't
so
think it was that game.
It wasn't the same game? I thought I had a Fiend that he could have. I was kind of surprised he went to the face too. But I think
I think it was a
yeah,
different
it
one.
was
But
just
I don't know. I just remember at the time. I remember being surprised that it was going to the face. But
there was definitely no creatures in play
okay.
because I would not have done that.
Right.
Got it.
Cool. Well, I'll just check chat to see. Yeah, I mean, people were commenting on that match that it was a lot of back and forth, and we didn't know who was going to win. It felt like the matchup was pretty even. Did you feel like one deck is favored over the others? Because I mean, even the games that Jared had, like a Phyrexian Arena, if John almost always had a Lightning Angel, and if that Lightning Angel stays in play, then I think Jared loses. But Jared always had like a Pyroblast or a Terminate to get rid of it, because with like 2 or 3 attacks with that Angel, I think Jared wouldn't have been able to win some of the games that he did. So
No, it's a serious clock.
yeah,
It's a definitely serious clock.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, we also had a couple of mulligans to 5. I had 2 and he had 1 at the end, and so those are never, especially when the games are so attrition based.
Yeah.
We knew what these were going to be. I mean, that's a huge advantage for whoever. So, and my first the game 1 opening hand, I was just like, I didn't like going to 4 with this deck was like not an option, and I literally kept like 1 land, and it had an arena, and it had like a Grim Lavamancer, and I was like, I just need to like just draw me like a couple lands in a row, and I probably can be in this game, but it just didn't come together. Sometimes you just gotta hope for the best on those mulled 5s.
great.
What about you, John? Did you think that they were pretty evenly matched coming in?
Yeah, I mean, I think the matchup's pretty even. I think it really comes down to whether or not Arena gets into play, and I think that's the most important thing realistically. I mean, like a turn 1 hippie could be bad, but
You have a lot of answers to like something like that. So
Yeah, 4 bolts,
Yeah.
4 swords, and 4 fire and ice. Like that's gonna answer it. It's on the draw or on the
Typically.
play anyway. Yeah.
all right.
Cool.
Well, congratulations, Jared, and well done, John. Unfortunate that you had to go
good
out in the
game.
semis, but
good games.
well played throughout the series. I know a lot of people picked you to take down the whole thing, and I think it's a justified answer. But yeah, unfortunately you fell short. But thank you for playing, and
Yep.
it was good to have you. So
Yeah, thanks so much, John. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a wonderful rest of your night.
Thanks. I'll see you.
Take care.
Thanks,
Good luck.
Jared.
Bye.
Congratulations. We'll see you on Thursday.
Okay.
all right, Jared. So yep, we will see you on Thursday as you will fight in the finals up against James. So I'll go over to our schedule. So we will be figuring out what time we will be starting. So the way that the finals is set up is the players are still going to ban a deck. Is that correct, Flint?
Yep.
Okay, so the initial part is the same. They're gonna ban a deck, and then the players are going to pick a deck as normal. They're gonna play a best of 3 with those decks, and then after that best of 3 is done, they're gonna play a best of 3 with the other deck that is not banned. And then if it is split between those matches, so one player has taken down one match, the other has taken down the other, then they go to a third match with the decks that were banned. So we have the potential of up to 9 games, but for the finals, I guess it could be over as few as 4. But we will let everyone know via the Facebook group and my social media of when we will start the finals. I think we need to figure out with the players what works with them, and then also what works with our streaming thing. So we don't want to go too late into the night. But yes, so we're finally down to 2. We've played over 7 weeks of round robin, and then we've had the semifinals, and so we will have a champion by the end of this week. What do you think, Flint?
It's crazy. Like here we are. It feels like just a couple weeks ago we had started, and all of these players are just so solid. We had a lot of really close games, I would say. It's a little different than I think the second series where we had a lot of blowouts in a lot of matches. A lot of these games were super tight play, pretty intense. I've really enjoyed watching them, and we have 2 players who've played well and had a little variance on their side, and that's what it takes. And I'm excited to see how these line up. The decks that are pretty different too, right? I mean, um, I'm going to be really excited to see what decks get banned, and then if we end up going to a third and final match as well.
Yeah, if it's anything like tonight, I feel like it will go down to the wire. But who knows? Time will tell. We will figure things out. So I guess we will wrap things up for our semifinal stream. I want to once again thank to everyone who is able to make our live stream and who helps out in chat, keep things moving. I know that I can't always keep you entertained, but I appreciate the chatters that we have, and even if you're not chatting, just watching is great. But we appreciate all that support. Want to thank our sponsor of CardSphere. Again, that is a great resource if you're interested in trading Magic the Gathering cards. I encourage you to check them out. Is there anyone you want to thank before we head out tonight, Flint?
Just thank all the players. I mean, we're down to 2. So to the 6 who didn't make it, better luck next time. You still played well, and thanks again for volunteering your time to come play with us.
Yeah, thanks for being flexible. I think I know Flint did more of the scheduling with the players, but I felt like they were all pretty communicative and, for the most part, pretty flexible or straightforward when they did have limitations. So thanks for working with us when we did have to make adjustments, but we appreciate that. And I'll say, again, thanks everyone. Oh, Mike has just chimed in. He's saying the second chance bracket, that's referring to the Premodern Super Gauntlet for the top 16 of the Gauntlet, is about to launch. So that is something to look out for. I'm sure you can find that information on the Facebook group. Otherwise, if we have it ready by the time of our finals, we'll get some more information for that. But another chance to participate in the top 16, maybe if your bracket is busted or if you're someone like Flint and didn't fill one out, even though I told you to.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? I don't remember this. Anyway, let's wrap this up. It's getting late.
All right, that sounds good. But again, yeah, check out the Premodern Super Gauntlet that Mike Arnold is hosting. There's lots of different Premodern streamers, whether it's Andrew and Oles Kurdape or Gordon with the Walk Walk stream, Walk Walk MTG. They've been doing a lot of the streams for that, so that's always fun Magic to watch. But I will say, Thanks again, everyone, for watching, and until next time, take care.
Night, everybody.